do like a thumbs up or whatever.
Hey, good. Thumbs up or whatever.
Hey, cool. Okay. Welcome to Midlevel Crisis presents the Hangman's Oracle, where we join our heroes for the very first time. We are an actual play Dungeons & Dragons group that hosts our sessions live on Twitch every other Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 o'clock Pacific. Real quick, a special thanks to our sponsors, Session Zero Clothing, a Dungeons & Dragons inspired clothing company that work with various artists that range in style to create original designs based off of classic concepts. They have an ongoing discount. If you put in Crisis in all caps, you can get 10% off of your whole order, as well as the Initiative Order. They are a Discord community that focus entirely on members' involvement. With a handful of game masters, they run monthly games of Dungeons & Dragons, Call of Cthulhu, Monster of the Week, Morkborg, and more. Say that 5 times fast. And lastly, but not least, Band of Badgers. They are a YouTube Twitch group that plays a variety of different role-playing games, including Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Starfinder, and more. If you're a content creator and would like another platform to advertise your product, the Badgers are ready to help you promote. They have special guests every week and constantly looking for more players to join the band. Joining us today, we have Ryan as Sal, Eddie as Rubute, Serena as Zephyrin, Dane as Kadaj, and Kyle as Elodius.
Hello.
All right. I feel like if you introduce like 6 people and they're just like, yeah.
Hey, we'll figure it out, man. We're working through it. I also love that I can see whenever somebody goes green on your screen because it turns your whole face green.
Does it? Okay, you're green right now. You're actually the common problem here.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it like reflecting off of Dylan's face. So.
Yeah. Green. Yeah.
But Ryan, maybe just don't talk.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So our journey. You done? Our journey begins on the Amber Isles in the small portside town of Thalen's Hearth, where the party stands as strangers amongst a small crowd of townsfolk, overlooking the dock from the cliffside above. You all stand in silence, overlooking a horrendous view of a large ship that has crashed into the jagged cliff below you. The sound of the crash still echoing in your minds, but even more horrifying is the silence to follow. What do you do?
So wait, we're all on a ship? What happened?
You're on the cliffside above. You're standing at Thalen's Hearth.
We're all together?
Yes, standing as strangers. You do not know one another. You're standing amongst a small crowd of people overlooking this horrendous view of this crash, of the ship that had crashed into the jagged cliff below.
There's a big, this big ship crash. That's what
Yes.
you're saying. Okay.
Yes. I thought I articulated that, but obviously I did not.
You read very fast.
Sorry.
All right, so...
I hear I talk fast. I can reread it.
No, don't. So,
no, not again.
Among the crowd, this small Lokatha boy, pink skin, very slender, kind of pokes his head through and says, I wonder if there's any survivors down there. Maybe I can go down and check. Anyone else a good swimmer?
Gesturing around the group, the crowd kind of just gasping in horror, and you look down towards the dock, and there's already a small handful of people running towards some smaller boats that are tied up next to the dock, presumably in order to aid whomever might be on board.
In the crowd, you'll see this probably a little blue head kind of pop out of the crowd here swimming and make her way over to where she heard another small voice talk about swimming. She's probably a little bit further back.
Did somebody say something about swimming? I can swim.
Yes. It looks as though there was a horrible accident, and I see that there are people helping, but I don't know how well they can swim, and they probably can't hold their breath very long.
You're right, they don't look like they're made for the water. Should we go help?
Yes, let's go.
All right, so as you start making your way down, there are 2 men, humans, hastily untying one of the boats, talking to one another. You overhear, as you're approaching, something about a shipment from another city. They obviously might know somebody aboard the boat. Everybody else, as you're standing above and watching, what is your immediate reaction?
I would say my immediate reaction is to go help, like, and as many people get out of the crash as possible. So I'd probably already be heading down, like, ASAP.
Okay.
Elodius is definitely going to observe the heroic acts of these brave people, but he is not very good at swimming.
As a bard, all you need is your tails. You can observe from afar and still benefit your character.
So the ship crashed into the cliffside. How far away from the docks is it? Like, do we have to go down, like the side to where the docks are to get to the water, or?
So, like I said, you were standing above the cliffside, so there's a long path going from the town down toward the dock. It's a 2-minute walk. It's not very far. The ship crashed pretty close to where the ship would have originally docked anyway, and it's take you less than a minute to swim out to it.
Okay.
But it is taking on water fast.
Yeah, so I'm probably running full speed down the hill, however long that takes. I'm assuming Zephyrin, not that I know her name, is close behind.
Yes.
Tall blue lady. Amongst the crowd, the 2 fish people, of course. And Kadaj, his immediate reaction, Dane, would you be staying back with the crowd, or are you?
Given what brought Kadaj to this area, I'm assuming that he's probably, I shouldn't say I'm assuming, I feel like he's probably just trying to blend in for the most part, not trying to stand out, just trying to, get lost amongst the crowd of people.
Okay. So, Sal and Zephyrin, as you approach, you're both very strong swimmers. I'm assuming you're not going to wait for the boat to be untied, or are you going to assist them? What is your plan?
I'm probably just going to jump right in the water.
Yeah,
Jump-
Zephyrin would
okay.
just hop right in.
Wait, so they're trying to untie the boat?
Yes.
A different
Okay.
boat, not the boat that crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a small
Okay.
boat that they're going to take to get over
Rescue
to it.
boat.
Yes.
And how
Yes.
fast are they untying it? Like, are they struggling or?
Definitely, they're panicking quite a bit. You can see a lot of worry on their face, and as they're trying to untie it, they don't look like they're necessarily overly gruff people. They look like they might work in the town. They're not very well versed with ships and knots and things like that. So
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go up to that boat. And I'm gonna literally just take out my sword and just cut the rope.
so as you cut it, the boat tips and then crashes into the water and just kind of rebalances itself and bobs back up to the surface.
Oh, it was
Okay.
it was like hanging?
Sorry?
It was like a hanging ship?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, depending on the tide, how high it is, this ship sometimes sits at the bottom of the water sometimes and is measured to the dock.
That's a good question.
Um,
How high is the tide, DM?
How high is the tide? So it was just hanging maybe 2 feet below where the ship was hanging.
Okay.
Or the surface of water is about 2 feet below where the ship was hanging. So not quite high tide, but quite close.
Okay. And are the people going into that small boat to right now to the bigger boat as soon as I cut it?
Yeah, so they would board the ship with you and jump on and
Yeah.
then start paddling towards. So at this point, Sal and Zephyrin, you jumped into the water?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So as you approach the boat, you can see 2 ways to board. There's a rope ladder down the side, and then there is also the hole in the front of the ship where they're taking on the most water. Do you want to climb to the top, or would you rather go in through the bottom?
Actually, I think I would turn as we get close and say, do you want to go up above or do you want to go underneath?
Looks like some air breathers are going up above, so maybe we should go underneath and collect the people that are stuck down there.
I agree. Let's go. And then swim under to where the hole is.
Okay. So as you approach the front of the ship, it's worse than it even looked above. There's unspeakable, unfixable damage taken to the front. It's crashed in. The jagged rocks had penetrated a large portion of the front of the ship. As you enter, you can see that it's maybe a fifth to a quarter already filled with water. It's been taking on fast. and you can see debris floating amongst it everywhere. So there's this was what looks to be a food hall. There's just like apples and fruit and everything floating amongst the water, tipped over crates, but nothing that looks like a body.
Do we see?
So like in the
Sorry.
water, there's nothing down there. No people stuck or anything. No. Okay.
Nothing.
Are there stairs or anything like in the back to come down to this level?
So as you enter the ship, there's a wall with an open doorway down at the far end.
Okay, I want to swim towards that as we go. I want to definitely make sure that there isn't anybody like kind of like peek around corners and stuff.
Yeah. Check
Okay.
like make sure there's no little hands stuck under boxes or anything like that.
Do you both want to roll perception?
Hey, all right.
Hell yeah.
At this point, Eddie, you and the two humans are approaching the side of the ship and are able to, you've reached the side of the ship.
Okay. So we're like close enough where we can like get up onto the boat, or do I have to like do any climbing or?
There is a small rope ladder down the side of the ship.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll climb the rope ladder onto the deck of the ship.
Okay, so as you board the deck of the ship, again, there's like crates and barrels amongst the top, a lot of which have tipped over. Towards the back of the ship, there is an open doorway and a stairway leading up towards the top deck of the ship.
Okay. Do I see any people around? Do I roll for that, or just?
A cursory glance, you don't see any humans aboard the ship, or any people aboard the ship, I should say.
Okay. I'll call out. Is anyone still alive up here or anywhere?
It's followed by silence.
All right.
Sorry,
go ahead.
continue.
No. I was just commenting. Go ahead.
The other two that join you, they immediately climb aboard and just sprint past you towards the open doorway.
Is it the open door to the? Oh, this is the top of the deck. We're in the center, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll follow them.
Okay. So you enter another room with a staircase leading down and another room ahead of you. You can see that the water is starting to rise up on the onto the staircase coming up towards the upper decks.
Okay, then yeah, I'll just keep on going up. Or up the stairs. That way I can not drown.
Okay. So splitting the party is very hard for me to. So I'm just going to quickly, as you're looking around, I'm going to go back to Serena and Ryan here. So rolling perception, Ryan, we rolled in group here.
Yep, it should be up in Roll20.
Yeah. So 8 for Sel, but 20 for Zephyrin. So as you're making your way through it, you don't really see anything of interest, Sel, but Zephyrin, as you're going through, you're kind of like waving your arms through the water as you make your way and you glance around the room, and you feel your hand touch something cold underneath the water.
I will turn to look and see what it is.
So beneath the water, you can see 3 men that are bound to the bottom of the ship. Each of them
Bound, like they're tied or like
yes.
Okay, Zephyrin will get Sal's attention. Not that she knows Sal's name, but
Fish boy.
maybe like hit him or something. I don't know. Yell at him. Pink fish.
I turn around.
There's some people down here. They look like they're tied up.
As she like points them out, do they look unconscious? Are they awake or are they?
They're very much so. They're underwater. You guys you're both aquatic creatures essentially. So looking underneath, you can see that they are tied to a metal bar underneath around the lower edge of the ship that is generally used for securing cargo. And each of them is not only unconscious, but they have thick purple veins protruding down from their necks onto their torsos.
Oh Christ! I want to take my sword and start cutting through the ropes if I can.
Okay, so you manage to get their hands free, and their bodies just start to float up a little bit, still seemingly lifeless.
I want to like grab one and sort of like push it through the water over towards this blue lass that is with me.
Guess I'll start kind of gathering them as you're cutting them free and like herding them together so we can kind of
Push them and
push them
through
upwards
the doorway.
towards the air. Yeah.
At this point, Eddie, you being at the top of the staircase, in like entering the other room, you can now hear these interactions going on between the people downstairs.
Okay. I will like cause anybody there?
So they're calling out to you, Ryan and Serena.
Are we underwater?
You are. The water's still taking on. It's about.
Oh, so
Zephyr's,
we're pushing the bodies up towards like the stairs then, on the inside of the boat. Is that what you meant? Okay, got it. All right.
Or that's what I took. Sorry, were you guys pushing towards the hole that you had entered through, or towards the stairs, towards the back of the room?
I was in my head thinking towards the hole, so that way they would just get right out.
Okay, but still,
Yeah.
Eddie would still be able to hear the actions going on, being as close as he is at this point.
Right.
So calling out to you, the water is only about waist height on Zephyrin, so it would be a little bit higher on you. But again, that doesn't necessarily matter for your character for
I'm like
breathing purposes.
5'8".
You're
Oh, he's
5'8".
taller than I am.
Oh, geez, I thought when you said you're a little fish boy, I was like, oh shit, okay, he's gonna be like.
I think he's
He's
drawn.
tall.
Fish
He's
boy.
drawn tiny, but I think he's an average size.
You're telling me that pink monstrosity you have drawn behind you is 5'8"?
Dog.
That's
yeah.
That's an inch taller than me. That's horrifying.
Zephyr's 5 foot.
Oh man.
Okay, so it's about waist
Let's
height
start over.
on. Welcome to Midlevel Crisis, person.
Yeah, no, he's average height, I believe. I could double check. But
Oh,
I'm not
jeez.
going.
Just as a reference, to Eddie, how tall is Rabute?
I think he's like either 5'11" or like 6, like not
Okay, so
short.
it would again just be just below your waist, so it's about waist height for Sal, and maybe about 8 inches higher than that on Zephyrin.
So all
So
right,
it's like chest
Diaphragm, not chest height. That's 8 inches.
all right. So just to
No.
re-clarify, because I was
Your boyfriend's
thinking
been lying to you.
we were completely submerged at this point.
Oh no, sorry. I said
But
it was
just-
about a quarter to a fifth of the way filled.
So just the people that were drowning, they were the only ones submerged. So we had to go
Yes.
under to cut, and then when they're loosened, they're basically like,
Yeah, just kind of like
okay,
plopped
cool.
up to the top.
So then
They were
yeah,
just
so then
underneath the
I
water.
don't think it would make sense to push them back under the water then at that point.
No, we'd bring them up the stairs.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Sorry.
All right, no, that's fine. So yes, I would hear him and say, yes, we have a couple people down here. There's 3 of them that I can see. They were tied up and they look like they're drowning. Do you have more air breathers with you?
Yeah, there's 2 people with me. Are the people you have with you conscious or?
Oh no, they're very very unconscious.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Am I able to tell like exactly where they are? Like maybe like figure out if you can like push them towards me or anything like that, or no?
As I'm saying this, I am like pushing towards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going towards
up,
the stairs,
going up
so
as
just
fast
up.
as we can.
Okay, so you're meeting up towards me,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So do like at this point I would be seeing them, right? Or would they like?
Yeah, at this point you'd see them, and the other 2 humans that have come with you. They're muttering and like speaking aloud to each other, just like, oh, they found some, and they're following you in.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll just like take the nearest person and grab them, try to get them up to the top of the deck.
All right. As you pull them in, you can see this look of horror on the 2 men's face that have joined you, looking down at the bodies. They're like in complete shock. They're like, it's Torin. They're aware of who one of these people are.
Torin?
Torin.
Oh, I guess I have to pull up my notes to actually take notes for the game, huh? I should probably do that.
No. Oh yeah, we should do those.
Oh,
Forgot-
writing. That's just reading.
Forgot it's a
but
campaign, huh?
for the future.
Okay.
Disgusting.
I'll turn to one of the guys that are like spooked, and I'll be like, Torrin, is that one of these like people here or
He was. He's the innkeeper's brother.
who is the innkeeper?
I'm bringing up my notes as well. Hold on.
I don't know that that's pertinent
He
information
keeps
at the
the
moment.
So, sorry. Alrin of the Nightsworn Crest. He was amongst one of the townsfolk watching from above. I don't know if he should see this.
Probably not. Do you know what the shipment was for, or this boat was trying to do?
We get supplies from Velendor at the end of each harvest, and that's all this was. It was a retrieval. And he just starts stammering and like disbelief that this could have gone as wrong as it was.
Are they dead? Can I give them like the Heimlich? Like, can I?
So not only were they underwater and unconscious, but you do not recognize what these thick purple veins in their skin are. It very much looks like they had been suffocated, but there might be some other dark energy going on as well.
Okay. I mean, they're still alive, right?
No, they are very dead.
Oh, so all the bodies are just stripped.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Eddie, you are seeing this for the first time. When you look at the bodies, as you get a closer look, they have these dark purple veins going down their neck and into their torso.
I will turn to the two humans. Is like, do you recognize this? And like try to point out the veins and stuff.
I've never seen anything like this. Whatever had done this, it's not from here.
He will like his eyes will kind of like focus and like kind of squint, like trying to like get a good look at the veins and stuff. It's like we probably should like back away from these like corpses or something because I don't know if this is kind of a virus. It will spread, or I don't know. Fuck.
Are you projecting your things going on in the real world right
now?
now?
I mean, are
Too
you?
real.
I don't know.
I'm immersed. Don't do this to me.
Yeah. Where's my face mask? I'm going to look to the two small, I don't know, like what are you guys, like fish people or something? I didn't quite catch it. Like
I am specifically a fish person.
you're
So-
a fish
More
person.
fish-like than I do, but
Okay.
I'm a blue fish-ish person.
Yeah. So
Fish.
Robute is you appear human, has
Yeah,
human-like features.
humanoid, yeah.
Yeah, he's humanoid living amongst a town with other humans, half elves and the like. So seeing people like Zephyrin and Sal, although not necessarily uncommon, is not necessarily common for you. So looking over to these creatures, maybe a description of your characters would be good, as it kind of be a shock for Robute to see. So Zephyrin, what do you look like? What is he seeing?
Yeah, so Zephyrin is humanoid with fish-like features. So she's blue-skinned, light blue hair. She has little fins that kind of streak out of her where ears would be, I guess. But her eyes are her pupils are almost all black. Her fingers are tipped with almost black ink. She does have chainmail on, so it's kind of. I thought about it after we were swimming, and I was like. But she's a strong swimmer. She's got a big old axe or hammer. What does she have? I can't even remember. It's been so long since we built these. Warhammer. It's covered in barnacles. And yeah, she just looks like a short fish girl, I guess. Little kind of mermaidy.
Sick.
And Sal is a much rare creature that's very unlikely that you would have seen someone like him, as their people often live underwater, but primarily for their whole lives. So this may very well be the first time you're seeing his kind. As we can see from the picture, Sal is a big old monstrosity of a fish boy.
Is that a shield?
Yep, it's a. I'm now forgetting what it's called. It's a crab, a
Shoe crab?
horseshoe crab. Yeah, it's a large horseshoe crab. And
If you know that.
the sword was fixed for me before I had left. It is the tail of the horseshoe crab, and it was sharpened and it's like a set, and I put the sword into it. It looks like the tail sticking out, and I just throw it on my back, so it looks like I have a horseshoe crab on me at all times.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, that's basically all I'm wearing is this kelp kilt, and that's about it. I got a pendant on my necklace, and I'm wearing a fancy little ring. And other than that, there's nothing too much that stands out other than my bright salmon pink skin.
No nipples, huh?
No nipples. Do
Don't
fish
got
have
no
nipples?
fish titties here.
Please, this is a family stream, Dane. No nipples allowed.
And we start somewhere.
To clarify though, you probably only saw me for like half a second, because as soon as I brought the bodies up, I want to turn around and go back and look and make sure there aren't any more tied up.
So, the two humans that were accompanying Rubute just immediately start grabbing them, and it's like, let's bring them back to the boat. And they start carrying the bodies, each of them taking one in their arms. So, as you go to search back under, you look underneath and you see a lot more wreckage that didn't end up floating to the top. You're kind of searching through, but you don't necessarily see any more bodies.
Okay. So yeah, after like a quick scan, I'll head back up to where Rubute, well, the human and the mermaid woman,
Our lady.
with legs.
Mer lady with legs.
Oh, you're Ariel.
With legs.
Yes, Ariel.
Yeah, true. But I can talk.
Remember that time
Oh, yeah.
Ariel was just like, I gotta get dick immediately, and then just...
Woof.
Yeah, sounds
That's the whole story.
So anyways, I'll head back up to them and say, we should probably get out. The ship is going down pretty quick. It is taking on a significant amount of water, and I don't think there's any more people here. Maybe
Okay.
we can get them to the surface, or lower them down to the boat that you guys took over, but we should get out of here.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
You should get out of here. It doesn't matter if we do.
for real.
Right.
I'm like start heading up towards like the stairs to the top deck, and like before I do, I'm gonna turn back and be like, you like now that you would know what's going on with like the veins thing, right?
Not unless we get a better look outside, but I think right now our biggest concern is getting out of the ship. Here,
Right.
and I like push one of the bodies towards him.
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
think you
right.
can carry them?
Yeah, I'll certainly try. And I'll try to pick them up and bring them. I almost completely forgot about them. And and I'll.
To be fair,
Yeah,
you were avoiding touching them because you didn't know if they were diseased or
True.
not, so...
Yeah,
That's true.
but I saw the other two humans do it, so I was like, well, too late now.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, as you start carrying the body towards you, you go back to the upper deck of the ship, start bringing it towards the edge. The others have already started trying to lower the bodies down, trying to have much respect for the bodies as they're hurled over their shoulder, trying to carry them down to the ship on this raggedy ladder. The ladder ends up snapping under the weight of the two of them. Must have gotten damaged or frayed in the crash, and they both, all four of them, crashed down into the water below.
Oh my god, these people are having the worst luck.
Right? It's not a great day for the citizens of Thalen Sarth.
I'm trying to think. I don't know that I would go back and go up through the ship. I think I would probably just go out the same way I came in, because I can swim and I can breathe underwater, so I
Yeah.
feel like that's my fastest exit.
So I guess that's what it would look like from Eddie's or Robute's perspective. But then I guess if Zephyr and Sal are going through the front of the ship, it would very much just look like you swim out the hole and then four bodies crash down beside you.
I'll
Just walking up.
swim over and quickly help. I mean,
Sounds
I'm sure the two people that are conscious are able to correct themselves, but
They can swim.
yeah, yeah, it's true. I don't want to make that decision for them, but I want to just swim over and try to help bring them back up to the surface.
Alright, so
Mainly the two unconscious bodies that fell with them.
immediately one of the bodies floats up to the surface, but the other three are not to be seen.
Even from coming from under the water?
No, sorry, that's from Eddie's perspective.
Oh.
Looking over. So you still have the one guy over your shoulder. There's no rope ladder now, and you only see one of the bodies come back up.
Wait, I'm still on the top deck, right?
Yes.
Okay. But in that one boat that I got that brought me there, that sunk down?
No, the rope ladder broke.
Okay, it's just the rope
As they're
ladder.
climbing
Okay.
down. Yeah, the boat is
All right.
fine.
Okay. I'll try to I'll probably put the unconscious, nice, the dead body, over to the rowboat and like trying to toss it in there as fast as I can. And then the bodies that fell off just now, am I able to tell if they're dead or not, or are these new ones, or are these the ones that was already?
No, they were.
down?
So the two gentlemen that were helping you retrieve the bodies, they were climbing down the ladder, and the frayed ladder ended up snapping as they were climbing down with the bodies. There's too much weight with the four of them at this point.
Oh, okay.
So it's the two
Now I
unconscious
see.
bodies they were carrying, and then themselves they go underwater, and you only see one of them.
Got it.
And you're still
back to the
up on
surface.
the ship looking down with
Right.
your body.
Yeah.
Okay, now I got the picture. All right. 'Cause a lot of things were said. I was like, oh fuck.
I should be paying attention to some of this.
Yeah. I was like, oh god. I like 2 seconds. I promise. So I'll like call down to the person that like came up. I'm like, are you okay?
So he shouts back up to you. He's like, I can't see Lou. Where is he? And he's flailing around trying to find whomever the person was with him, presumably Lou.
Shit. Am I able to like see? I can't see at all. There's no like way I can't see the like any shadows, like maybe to get a good idea maybe where he could be.
It's hard to see from the water. It's not necessarily super clear, but you do see that Zephyrin and the Sal are there as well.
And they're both underwater.
Are you guys underwater right now, or are you kind of just like swimming out?
I was
What are-
thinking probably by the time we had our little conversation, because the two guys before didn't wait to have that interaction with the three of us. They just went
No.
up and booked it. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking, in my head at least, and you can definitely correct this, by the time we swim out underneath... Actually, Zephyrin, did you follow me or did you go up top?
Probably would have followed you because you're who I came with.
Okay.
Yeah, not to mention, your comment was, well, you need to get out of here, like we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you wouldn't
Yeah.
wouldn't have followed that up with, but I will do the
I
thing.
will, I will,
leave,
I'll walk
but-
too.
All judgment aside.
I
but
have
I'm gonna do
legs,
the
I'm
thing
going to use them.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking by the time we swim down through the hole and then cut back up, as we're reaching towards the surface is about the same time that the bodies hit the water.
Yes.
So then I think I would probably swim over quick and try to usher them back to the surface. And I'm going to assume that Zephyrin would probably do the same.
Yeah.
Zephyr's like, shit, crazy, and then just kind of goes about her day.
Oh, all right.
Times in one day, damn, guys. Get your...
Man,
Your
these
act
air
together.
breathers are not good at this sort of shit.
You're killing it on land and below water, and they can't do it either. It's wild.
Either.
So the one who was previously conscious carrying one of the bodies must have hit his head or something when he was falling down, as he is now seemingly unconscious, starting to sink below the water as well. So one of the two conscious people floated up to the surface, kind of panicking about his buddy now, and three of the bodies are now two dead, one unconscious, underneath the water.
I
So
think Zephyrin would prioritize the person that was alive, in
Yeah.
theory,
I hope so.
to the dead people. So she would probably swim towards him to help get him back up to the surface first.
Right. Your strength, are you able to lift them up to the surface?
I would assume so. Hang on, where?
And we are in the water, so gravity doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. I guess not.
Sure. Yeah. I don't actually remember where. How do I find it?
It was in your equipment on D&D Beyond.
Okay, so am I carrying capacity is 240 pounds, but my push, drag, or lift is 480 pounds.
Okay, and they were generally medium build people, so much less than 480 pounds. So you start to push them back towards the surface and put them on the boat. Sal, like you said as well, so the two of you are collecting the bodies, throwing them onto the boat, and at this point, Rob is, what are you doing with your body?
I'm probably just gonna, as much as it makes you look like a dick, I'm probably just gonna toss it into the boat.
Pop them on.
They're like carefully dragging him down, which like gave one
Like,
of them a concussion,
yeah.
and you're just like, poof,
Yeah, exactly.
kill me.
Wait, you're throwing your body off the top of the ship?
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
okay, so first of all,
It's already dead.
How
Yeah.
tall is the ship? Like, how far is that
So-
throw?
It's capsizing, I believe is the correct word. So I'm not a boater. So it's going down, so it's a little closer than it would have been had it been stable. But it's still like, I don't know, 12 feet above water.
Oh, that's not too bad. I was thinking like 20 feet, like a full ship.
Yeah, no, like if you jumped off of it onto land, you'd roll your ankle. You wouldn't break your leg. You
So
know?
yeah, you could. So Rob could probably like dangle him over by like the arms and then just like drop him, and it's only like 6
Yeah.
feet.
Whatever works, without being
Being
too much of a,
Disrespectful.
yeah.
Rob's like, I really want to save this guy, but I also don't want to look like a dick. So
Yeah.
he's having
Pretty
this
much.
like.
Is anybody
identity
looking?
crisis.
But forgets that there's like 70 people above
Spec-
looking down.
It's cool they didn't see that, but meanwhile, all their friends and family are up
Just
above.
watching him throw a body over.
Did
you guys
be
see
that
Oh no,
Eat it
Steve!
off the side.
guy?
Well, if he wasn't dead. But yeah, so okay, you throw him off the side. Presumably,
Gently.
yeah, just
Yeah.
as gingerly as you can yeet a body over the edge of the ship.
Floats.
Okay.
And then I assume you jump off yourself, or
Yep, that's what I was gonna say next.
okay, no further investigation of the ship.
Nah,
Okay,
it's sinking.
fair. Yeah.
Anyone
all right.
left, they're dead. It's fine.
All right, so
We
you
do,
guys
we do.
successfully gather the bodies, bring them up to the dock, sprawl them out along the dock, as well as one of the unconscious gentleman, Lou, who had hit his head, is kind of starting to come to in a daze. So just the three of you are standing there on the dock with the now 4 bodies in front of you and the other human gentleman that had joined you in your efforts to save people. Standing at the end of the dock as the ship continues to sink.
Is anybody else coming down the hill towards us?
At this point, there's a couple people coming down to check out what's going on. 2 of which are running down with a burlap bag.
A body bag.
Looks like it might be a med kit.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Okay.
What in the world is in that bag?
You
I
can
think
only
there's
assume.
all 3 in there. I just.
I mean, I said it was like a 2-minute walk. I didn't want to say like, oh yeah, you can definitely see that they're bringing a med kit from feet, like yards away.
No, that's fair. I think Zephyr's gonna look at the conscious guy and be like,
Can you think of a reason why they would have tied themselves up in the bottom of that boat?
He's just kind of shaking his head and rubbing his face, trying to like figure out what's going on. He's like, Thalen's Earth has no enemies. We're a small town. I don't know what could have done this.
Okay, because they were definitely restrained down there.
He just kind of like looks at the bodies and is like, I've never seen this before. So at this point, really quick cut. We have a nosy bard and a guy hiding amongst the crowd watching this as well. What are your guys' reactions to these heroes of Thalen's Hearth retrieving these 3 bodies?
Elodius would have probably gone down to the dock to get a better view, and he's basically like standing on one leg with another leg crossed over it so he can put a paper on it and is writing things down as he watches this happen.
his thighs must be so powerful.
It's the only thing about him that's powerful. Strength 8.
Nice.
All of it are in those thighs, squats for days.
Lots for days.
So
I don't.
while I'm still in like the crowd of people, can I get a read on like how most of them are reacting to this and kind of see if anything stands out? If it, like any like is anything like weird from like up here?
Nothing's necessarily weird. You can hear people like talking and gasping amongst each other. Um, no one is saying anything out of the ordinary of what would be said at a scene like this. The one thing that does stand out to you is there's a woman in the crowd that said, "Where's everyone else?" So she was obviously expecting more bodies to resurface. Let's wait for Serena to return, I think.
Are you telling me it takes more than 3 people to sail a ship?
At least more than 3 people.
Sea of Thieves lied to me.
Yeah, not the best source, but also my ship design is just based off of boats I see in World of Warcraft, so I don't necessarily have a.
And those move on their own, so.
Right?
Hey, there's a goblin standing there, like, slapping his hand with a wrench. I'm pretty sure he's doing something there.
Yeah, he shoves things indiscriminately that make the ship move, which is my understanding of aquatic vehicles. So,
Dylan, how close did the people get to us? Like, are they like getting like right up in there, or are they giving us like a respectful berth?
So the general crowd that was rushing down is giving like a fair amount of distance. They're standing like roughly like 10 to 15 feet away, just trying to see if they can recognize who had come off the boat. But the 2 that had come down with the burlap sack are immediately investigating the bodies. Really quick, Serena, while you had stepped away, we were just saying that, actually, I guess your character wouldn't know this. Dane was just asking.
That's why I left when I did.
You're good.
Okay. So I want to really quick say to whichever one of the guys that was in the ship with us that said, "Oh, this is Torn" or whatever. I want to be like, maybe you should go and see if you see the innkeeper, to keep him away. Maybe he shouldn't see this.
He glances up towards the small crowd of people. It's a little smaller now, as some have come to join you at the docks, and just stares up and it's like, I think he already knows. And he starts walking towards the crowd of people, presumably to speak with Alrin, his brother.
Okay. And as he walks away, I want to take out my sword and start to like. Actually, maybe I don't even need to. I want to. What are they wearing? The dead bodies.
So they're just wearing like a general like cloth garments, some leather pieces here and there. General like quite casual clothes, like lower to middle class.
Okay, if there's like buttons or whatever, I want to like rip the buttons. But if there's no buttons, I want to like cut the shirt or like lift the shirt up just to see where this black veins started to spread from.
So you rip open the shirts of one of the bodies laying down, and you see that the veins start to get thicker and thicker as they surround. Wow, I'm looking at the mirrored version of myself doing this the wrong way. Thicker and thicker as they surround and really deepen next to their hearts. So it becomes a much darker, deeper purple, almost black, around like the mid-center of their chest.
Okay. And as I'm now taking a look, does this look anything familiar to me at all?
Not necessarily, no. Maybe roll a history check. So I should look at that, eh?
Oh boy, that's a crit.
That is a crit.
So 21, since we don't crit on those ability boys.
You hear the voice of a god.
And he says, you know exactly what this is.
So, you don't know the name for this, but you have seen it before, around one of your first times entering Thalen's Hearth. You'd seen this on another body that had been taken away on a gurney.
Oh, Christ, okay.
Your recollection of this would have been just an arm with the same veins coming up from his wrist, but that's all you would have seen of the body.
Okay. Then I probably don't say anything because I wouldn't have anything to follow it up with.
Yeah. The two that had come down with the burlap sack of medical supplies are trying to see if they can resuscitate and talking amongst each other and trying to get the breathing. Well, one of them is checking on the other who had fallen unconscious, and they just say, "Look, we need to get you back inside," and they start like walking him up while the other is inspecting the bodies.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. My laptop has been unplugged this whole time. All right,
Low
so
battery.
So how many? Okay, so at this point we probably done all that we could, and we probably, I'm not gonna speak for everybody. I've probably done all that I could. So I want to like stand up and like take like a couple of respectful steps back to let the appropriate people handle this and let them figure it out, because I don't know these people. I don't think, right? They don't look familiar.
no, not necessarily. You've seen them around town. But how long have you been on land for at this point, would you say?
I don't really know. How long? You tell me. How long do you think we've been here? Or how long do you think I've been here? If I've already seen this before, is this like a new thing that's happened? Like, has that started in the past week or so?
Definitely I'd say the last instance would have been at least a couple weeks ago. So like, let's say you've been here for at least maybe a month.
Okay.
So you would have seen not the people on the ship, but you would have seen like, you recognize a lot of the people around town at this point.
Okay. And I've probably seen Zephyrin a couple times here and there, maybe.
Yeah.
Because she sticks out like I do.
Yeah. The newest people to town would be Kadaj and I guess Rabute, as he'd come from Rabute had come from another continent, which is not something your characters would know, and you don't know much about where Kadaj had come from previously.
Okay. So yeah, then I would probably just take a couple of steps back and let them handle it.
Okay. Melodius, at this point, you're documenting everything going on.
Yeah, so if he sees this fishman back away at this point, he's probably just gonna kind of go around the group and try and come up to him and just be like, oh, hello sir, but you do seem to be what I could only call an incredibly brave fishman. What inspired you to go hop in the water? Is this a normal type of thing for you?
Oh, is this my first interview? Oh, do you work?
Sure.
Do you work for Thalen's Daily News?
I don't know what that is, actually.
Oh, you must learn about it.
It's a drunk guy who yells things at the tavern every day.
Well,
It's a single town crier.
I just wanted to help. I knew that the air breathers weren't going to be able to do much, and the ship was going down, and I knew that I'd be able to do what I could in the water. That was it.
Incredible. One more question. Do you know something that rhymes with shipwreck? And he's looking at you holding a quill and a piece of paper.
Shipwreck. Thick neck?
What, songwriter?
I think
You
it's
say
the
thick
tone.
neck?
Shipwreck. What the heck?
I'm looking
I'll
it
work.
up.
I'll try and work with
The
it.
headline could read, "What the heck? Shipwreck." I see it now.
Okay, yes, I don't think I made it clear. I am not the news. I'm writing a poem. I learned about poetry from some elves, and it's fantastic.
Ooh.
And it all seems to be about heroic adventures, and you just came and you just dived in as soon as bad things were happening. That's That's prime poetry material right there.
Oh, you're
I
right.
know that we've kind of moved past this at this point, but I just checked rhymezone.com and I got thick neck and bridge deck. Take your pick.
Bridge deck.
Nailed it with thick neck, though.
Right? Thick neck is where I'm at.
Thick neck that's it right there.
I mean,
Yeah.
this fish does have a thick neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Work that into your poem. The fish
Yeah.
with the thick neck. Shipwreck.
saved them from the shipwreck. I got chills. Anyone else get chills?
Yeah, I'm feeling this. I
Feeling
want
something.
this published. Mid-level crisis news.
Somebody,
Shipwreck. Thick
somebody
neck.
hire a calligrapher. I want this framed.
Just the phrase thick neck, just in really nice.
We got our first merch. Thick neck.
All right, so am I dying? Kadaj, what is your response to everything else going on here?
Is the crowd still kind of like, are they more or less still like hanging out, or have a lot of them kind of like dissipated at this point, or?
It's slowly dissipating, so there's still a small crowd, roughly like 8 or 9 people around you. Many of them have gone down to the docks to kind of further inspect. Some of them have gone home as they can't deal, or left anyways, as far as I know, couldn't deal with the sights anymore.
I'd probably start heading down towards the docks then, just to satisfy my curiosity.
All right. And everybody else, what are your reactions? The exclusive interview for Salmon Filet. What about the others? Where are you at?
She's sitting on the deck, just like wringing out her hair right now because it's just like drenched with water, with her like warhammer just sitting on her lap and her feet kind of just like kicking the water below her. Just waiting. She's just like,
Oh, I hate this so much. Oh, on the deck rhymes with shipwreck.
I like how you're like
Thank you.
your character just sounds like they've been smoking a pack a day for 50 years.
best.
All right, honey, where are we going on the next one?
It's all the seaweed.
It is.
Oh.
Whoa.
Get out of here right now.
Goodbye.
High tides at 420.
Oh, that was good. That was better. Ryan, learn from Dane.
I am. One day at a time.
All right, and what is Rob's reaction?
I would be looking at the body, still trying to figure something out. But like I would ask people around, it's like, hey, does anyone know like where this ship was coming from? Like, anyone have any information about like what could have caused this? To where that crowd is like gathering.
The crowd's kind of like not saying much, but one of the medics who was helping or investigating the unconscious bodies, what's up? She was like, the ship was coming from Velendor for a supply run. We get fruits from the harvest from there every year, but as for what it cost us, we don't know.
Fruits from the harvest. That's what you were shipping.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my first jump, my brain's jumping to the fruits. Probably something to do with that, but it could be anything. Is there someone like in charge, like I can talk to about this?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, you can speak with Oren. His brother often went on these voyages, so that's the best guess I have.
Okay, I'll get up and like head over to him. Is that and he's probably talking to that one guy that was talking to him before, right? Like, because that's his brother that died.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really
So
quick,
he's still, sorry,
really quick. Their names are Orin and Torin.
Ulrin and Torin.
Okay. Already.
Yeah.
Got it. Keep going. Sorry.
Okay. So would he be still talking to that person, or is that like?
So Ulrin was at the top of the cliffside looking over. The gentleman who had helped you had walked up past him, but they were very much interested in getting him checked out and making sure he was fine after he had hit his head going under. So they just spoke with him briefly and walked off. So he's just standing. His tavern, the Nightfang Crest, is at the top of the hill. So everybody was just kind of outside the front of that, looking over. So he's still standing in front of the surrounding area of his inn.
Okay.
Tavern.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go up to him, and I'll say, "Sorry for your loss, but do you have any idea what might have caused those black or purplish veins coming from, their necks and such? Like, do you have any idea what might have caused that, or any information that could have, lead to that?"
So really quick, just while you're asking this, so as you're walking up, at this point, can't get all you guys in the same room. At this point, Kadaj is walking down towards the scene. So, just want to quickly bounce back to Kadaj, who is making his way to the scene as well, as he would be en route in order to go ask this question. Does that make sense? Like, he had already made his way down. I just want to check back on him really quick. So, as you start to approach the tavern keeper, the victim's brother, he makes his way down. So, Kadaj, you see these 3 unconscious bodies laying on the floor. This gruesome sight, thick purple veins protruding from their necks. One of their shirts ripped open to have this almost like large bruise on his chest where the veins seem to be stemming from. How does Kadaj react to seeing this kind of horrific scene?
Well, that's gross. I probably, because I would have seen, I mean, I don't know him as Sal, but I would have seen the people that kind of leapt to go to the ship and help, right? And be able to recognize who they are out on the dock now.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll probably make my way over to Sal. And
who currently being interviewed by Elodius, who is fascinated with the fish boy.
Although, if
Rob.
If Rob
Yeah,
was
it's Tom,
in, if Rob was in hearing range of talking about looking for who's in charge, she would probably be like, "There's more to this," and sneaking off to the side and just listening to his conversation.
All right. So, just as a general timeline, because everybody's kind of still getting in the midst of. So currently, Sal being interviewed by you. Kadaj makes his way down while Zephyrin is telling you what might rhyme with shipwreck. And at this point is when Eddie, Rob, would be inquiring about where there might be some more information. So that's when you would start to make your way up in order to go speak with Alrin. And then Elodius hears this information and you are just eavesdropping, or are you following?
I mean,
Both, right?
is it still eavesdropping if you're not hiding it? You're just standing 5 feet to the side, just holding a quill and paper, just
really close.
give me the scoop.
So you're just an obnoxious paparazzi, essentially.
There's heroic deeds going on. They need to be recorded.
Or else who might do it? All right. So you're just way happier than everyone else at the scene. They're all mournful. They had to carry these bodies. Some of them have lost family members, and some of them have no idea where their family might be, as there's more than 3 people on the ship, supposedly, from the information Kadaj had heard. And then there's just you with your quill and parchment, just this is the best day. So much is happening, and it's morning. This is crazy. So looked up more about when the tide is in, but it's a fantasy world, so the tide is highest at morning,
Whenever
I
you
guess.
want it to be.
Yeah, exactly. The tide works when I say.
I thought it was canon that the high tide is 420.
Now it is.
It is now.
I thought that was clear.
Yeah.
Tight, sick dab.
High tide at 4:20. So we'll say that's 4:20 a.m. So the tide's now going down. Oh no, that's how our
AM?
world works.
What?
High tide is
Boy,
4:20
then.
a.m.
Sleep
and
goodbye,
p.m.
man.
both.
Yeah, both. It just cycles viciously.
High tide is only ever at 4:20. It's at high tide specifically twice every day.
Well, maybe someone can. I'll read up more on how water is supposed to work, and we'll retcon the
Something
ordinance.
about the moon or something.
It's the moon and the sun.
my new
actually. They
goal
both
is to
affect the tide
find-
about equally.
My new goal is to find a 9th level wizard that can time stop at 420.
That's the end
yeah.
game right there.
Anyway,
I don't think anyone's going to pick apart of that. My last D&D group had 2 horticulture majors in it who I'd be like, you find this plant, they're like, this wouldn't grow there. I'm like, do you mind? So
no, we
it's magical.
it's you say it, it's canon, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Rob makes his way up the hill while this jovial satyr is following behind him. He's recording everything he's writing down. He's dropping on your conversation as you go to inquire about what else may have occurred here.
Right. So I was asking
Alrin.
Alrin if it was. Fuck, I don't remember. It's been like a good 5 minutes. It's like gone from my head. I was asking him about like if he knew about the shipments, and like he was saying that there was a shipment, they were getting fruit. I was saying maybe the fruit's something to do with it. Then what else was it? I was asking something else. What was it? Oh God.
I know I interrupt you to make everybody else talk. So
Yeah, no, it's all good. That's the correct thing to do. I'm just trying to remember what I wrote down my questions.
Good job.
so what is it that you're curious? What would
I was asking-
Rob want to find out? What is
Right, I
his
was
goal
asking
here?
where it was coming from. I was asking, fuck, I can't remember what the hell my other questions were. Yeah, I'm just gonna ask a bunch of different questions and just wing it. So you said that he goes on these like trips often. Yeah, he goes on these trips often.
Yes. So at this point, you approach Alrin, who's just kind of standing over and just looking generally unfazed, just kind of taking it all in at this point. And the question you ask him is like, your brother went on these trips often?
Yeah.
Every year at the harvest at the same time. Him and his crew would go out, they would retrieve the items from Velendor, we'd make our trades, and they'd come back.
And I assume you've probably never seen this kind of thing before.
A few times, yes, but never coming from there. It usually happens on land, but
What happens on land?
is this the first you're hearing of the Seraph's Call?
The what?
The Seraph's Call.
The
He kind of
Seraph's call?
he kind of smirks. He's just like, "Look, you've done a great deed here. You and the others, your friends that have aided us. Yes, have aided us. Join us for food and drink on the house tonight. I'll tell you everything you need to know later." As he makes his way back into the Nightfang Crest. Nightfang Crest.
I would like look at him suspiciously as like kind of, I don't know, something doesn't feel right to him, and he's just like, yeah, over dinner. And then I'll like start moving towards the fish people wherever they are. They're still he's still getting interviewed by Meliodas.
Elodius is following you.
Meliodas.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
Elodius
not
is
Elodius
with
is
me.
with
standing,
you.
like,
I think-
five
Yeah,
feet
with
from-
me.
Kadaj
Right.
was coming up to me, I think.
Okay, there's a lot
That
of
was the
moving
plan,
parts.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Seraph hasn't moved. She's sitting on the dock.
Zephyrin.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
the word that her
You said
name
Seraph.
is that I definitely said correctly the first time.
Yeah. So at this point we have Elodius, who is assumingly over the moon about this ominous person who's just added much more to his story.
Seraph's Call already sounds so poetic. It's working out wonderfully.
So at this point, you've been offered a free dinner with for you and the other people who had taken action against the shipwreck. Elodius is there, just kind of annoyingly following along, and Kadaj is now approaching Fish Boy.
Okay. Yeah. So which one's closer? Would it be Sal, which I mean I wouldn't know the name, but whatever. Or Zephyr? Is that it?
I
Zephyr?
think
Zephyr,
Zephyr.
and Kadaj and Sel are all
Friend.
together on the
Okay.
dock. You are just like a minute walk up from the dock with Elodius if you're talking to Ulrin.
Okay, then I'll get to the nearest fish person, whoever that is. I don't.
No
there's a lot of them.
discrimination,
We're-
just whichever one's close.
Whoever's
So-
closer.
There's another random one in the crowd.
And we get free dinner. He's like, who are you? So I'd assume you'd approach Zephyrin as Kadaj is starting to speak to Sal, and he had said, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would then start to approach Zephyrin. And so Kadaj, what are you saying to Sal?
Pardon me, but were those the only 3 people on board? Seems odd for a ship that size.
As far as I know, I took a quick look when we were in there and double checked and didn't see any more. They were, well, you look like you could handle it. They were tied up on the inside to a metal bar, and it was just the 3 of them. And I don't think they would have done it themselves. The only time I've ever heard of that was when I read stories of werewolves, and they would tie themselves up so they didn't harm the civilians. But this doesn't seem right.
Yeah, this hardly sounds like that at all. And
Canonically, Sal is a little suspicious that they might be werewolves. So.
Also, P.S. Dean, I don't think you described Kadaj, did you? Did I miss it?
no,
No.
not yet.
Okay.
So yeah, as far as you know, Kadaj is a drow. Average height, so probably about like, unfortunately, about eye level with Sal, which is probably a little unsettling. Yeah, like brown and green dark leathers. Has a black cloak. Also has like a face mask. Very pale skin with red eyes.
Do you take the face mask down to speak, or no?
Probably not.
Good, because it's 2021. That was a test.
I would say safety first, then teamwork.
Yes. So yeah, I didn't even think about that there could be more. I feel as though if they were on the ship and they survived, they would have swam to shore or to the docks, and if they didn't survive, then they would have floated. And I don't think we saw any bodies, and I want to look back over towards the ship and see if we missed anybody floating.
There's nothing you see immediately. Do you want to make a perception check?
Hey, okay, you got it. And that is a 11.
Yeah, no. You see some debris to start floating around. The ship is almost completely overturned at this point. There's no sign of bodies whatsoever, but there's starting to be other things floating amongst it. A group of the general townsfolk, humans and half elves and the like, are taking other small boats out to try and retrieve some of the
Fruit.
crates that are floating around,
Yeah.
but there's no sign of bodies. But you can only assume that at this point, if they do find any, they can pull them up themselves.
And when I was standing in the crowd, kind of taking everything in, I wouldn't, or anyone around me or myself, we didn't notice anyone else swimming out from the ship, did we?
Not necessarily. Even in the everybody's panicked, horrified state, they're pretty fixated in on the scene of the crash. There's nothing you would have really seen. You have a pretty good overarching view of everything going on. You would have noticed everything, or everyone on board. Yeah, at this point, Rob, with Elodius tailing behind him, scribbling on his parchment, would approach Zephyrin.
Okay, I'll go up to Zephyrin, and I would say, thank you for your help at the crash.
I mean, you air breathers sure took your time, so we had to do something.
Oh,
All right. I would ask. Shit. I had a question in my head. I always do this.
Write it down.
I know. I wrote another one down for later, and I was like, okay, that one I can't forget. I should have wrote the one to ask you. And I asked you guys before, if you guys knew about this like strange disease or anything like that, right? And you guys said no.
I've never seen it before.
Okay. There's a name Seraph's Call. Is that Seraph's Call?
Seraph's Call, yes.
Seraph's Call. Does that ring a bell to you?
DM, does that ring a bell to me?
No, so you are relatively new to Thaylen's Hearth, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nothing that you've necessarily heard of before.
Does it? I'm like nearby, right?
Yeah.
Do I hear him ask that?
Yes.
Well, does it ring any bells for me? Well, actually, we're all relatively close together.
You're
at this
all
point, right?
you're all finally in the same like 10
Bubble,
15 foot radius.
same
Dylan's
speaking
like,
bubble.
yes!
I was like, there's a crash. Of course, all these heroes will go to it. And Dane's just like,
Nah.
You know my situation. Trying to get in the front center of things like, nope.
no, it makes sense. That's on me.
Do we all want it smelling like wet goat in here? No, I didn't think so.
Nice.
Yeah, so it isn't a phrase that you guys have heard before.
Okay.
The only one that may have heard it before was Elodius, but I feel like you've been on the Ember Isles for quite some time, yeah, Elodius?
Yeah.
So you have heard about this briefly at this point. You know that it has something to do with people's dreams. That's all you're aware of. So you're not necessarily from Thaylen's Hearth, but you're from the surrounding area. So you recognize that it had been said before. You've heard some of the townsfolk mention it, and in context to their dreams.
Yeah, so like as he brings it up, and he's like, oh yeah, it's like dream magic disease or something, typical stuff.
It goes back to writing.
From like this is coming from like behind me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as like Rabuta hears that, he's like, oh God.
Oh yeah, you haven't acknowledged him at all this whole time. He's been
I
following
didn't realize he
you.
was there.
How tall is your satyr?
Oh, I guess I should give a description of Elodius.
Yeah, so you turn around to
Not
see
that we're all in acknowledgement.
this goat man. Finally, somebody's looking over to him. This is the first thing he's really said to anyone but Sal. So,
Elodius is 5'2",
Okay.
dark-skinned, chestnut brown hair and fur on his legs. He is wearing like fairly fancy clothes, like a button-down shirt that he wears entirely open, layered skirts, and like bling everywhere. If you look closely, it's kind of cheap bling. He's got like loops on his horns, loops on his arms, holding his sleeves up. He's got a belly button ring, several rings on each hand. His quill has like the pen part of it looks like a sword handle. He's like trying his damnedest to look fancy as hell.
So he's
Budget
real high
fancy.
beast. Yeah, budget fancy. I like that.
Okay.
All right, so you turn around to see this, what is probably super attractive goat man in his realm, but just is like overly like blinged out satyr behind you.
I'll turn like, did you just say dream magic? Is that the word you just used?
I mean, yeah, dream magic. I mean, it's a pretty normal thing, isn't it?
Rubitive like, no, it's actually not a normal thing. I've never heard such a thing.
I mean, I guess maybe it's a normal thing for Fae.
Yeah. So, dream magic. Okay, and you don't know more than that? That's dream magic. Like, how would that even? I don't even. How am I even supposed to go from there? Do you know anything more besides that it's dream magic?
I haven't heard too much. I mean, I mean, typical answer to a lot of questions is like magic did it.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, I guess I'll try to find out more from Elron. But Ulrin, whatever. I never remember anyone's names. But yeah, so I'll turn to Zephyrin. Yeah, that's
Yeah, look at
And
you
then-
remembering names.
I
At least
just- yeah,
remember
I
the
just
four
said
of
it.
them.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And then I'll like ask, or I'll say, anyway, thank you again. I didn't catch your name though. And then he'll be like pause for a moment, kind of like contemplating. He's like, I'm Rabute, but you can call me Rob. What's your name?
I am Zephyrin. There is no short version.
You're 5'2", you are the short version.
I am the short version.
Or you're 5 foot.
The shortest one here.
Yeah. Which is not when I saw all the character art and I was looking at the characters, you were this like tall, regal, like Atlantean woman as far as I was concerned. And then,
No, she is short bean.
yeah.
I assumed we had like a 4 foot tall fish man, but he's
Oh, he's a
Horrifying.
one of the tallest in the
monstrosity.
group.
Yeah.
Well, the two fish people bookend the group in height.
Yeah.
What nightmares are made of right there.
Yeah.
He's very cute though.
He's got nice eyes.
If you
like-
look past the scales. He looks sickly a little bit.
Oh.
he's very charming.
I should do with a face like that.
What was the last thing we were doing? I don't remember what we were just doing.
Zephyrin and Rob have
Oh, they were
themselves.
they were introducing each other. Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then
Names have been exchanged finally.
Finally.
yeah, and then before I head back up to the inn, I'll turn to Sal, and like he's like hearing distance, right?
Yeah, you're all within like
We're
10
all
to 15
together,
feet
yeah.
of each other.
Yeah. And he'll say, and thank you.
Oh, salmon fillet.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sal. And he'll start like heading up to the inn to get ready for dinner.
That you didn't.
That neither of
inform.
us know about.
Yeah,
He
I
walks
mentioned
away.
it.
He walks away,
You
and
did not
Elodius just
mention
mentioned. By the way, the innkeeper has offered you free dinner, and also I'm part of your group if anyone asks.
Oh,
I
well,
like where
I'm
his head's
Elodius,
at.
by the way.
We helped.
Right. So you're Elodius, and who are you?
She'll point it.
Kadash.
Kadash. Oh, okay. So you helped.
As far as dinner's concerned, yes.
This is a very important part of helping. Elodius points at his paper.
Yes,
Well-
He stops for-
documenting things.
Stops for a second.
Important.
None of this is useful, and he crumbles it up and throws it behind him.
well, I'm not stupid, but it is just dinner, so sure, you helped. Thank you for your help, Kadaj and Elodius.
So, I just need to clarify for the sake of alignment. The whole group, aside from Rob, is completely fine with getting more free stuff out of a guy who just watched his brother die. Just for the sake of alignment.
I mean,
Everyone-
I'm new in town. Free food, a free meal's a free meal.
well, obviously you are. You're the scumbag
Yeah.
trying to get one. But
I'm not gonna front that.
Elodius thinks his part of this is very important.
yeah, you honestly believe that. But.
I think like in the moment I wouldn't even think of
Yeah.
it like that, as Ryan didn't, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
we don't
It's
care
just
about
food.
small business here. All right. I am going to take a quick 30 seconds to go to the bathroom. At this point, everybody is together except for Rob, who is on his way back up to the inn.
Yep.
So maybe this is a good chance for you guys to, I know you just introduced yourselves, but kind of describe your characters. I know we have the artwork, just so we kind of know what we're referencing and as far as like everything else going forward.
Is Rob the only one that actually hasn't? Did
Yeah,
you?
I think so.
Think
might
so,
be
yeah.
Rob's the only one who
Only one. Yeah.
All right, so run
Hold
fast, Dylan. While he describes himself.
Oh God.
I'm a human.
Yeah.
Are you looking up your character description?
No. Maybe. I was actually gonna look a picture of it so I can actually get a good idea, but I'm gonna do it all from my brain. So he looks pretty young, like maybe 18ish to maybe like 21ish, like relatively young. Has a longish hair that's like tied up into a small ponytail. He has like really, really tired eyes, as if like he's seen some shit. Wearing, I think I can't remember if it's chainmail or if it's just like studded leather, but medium armor. He is carrying like this sword that has like these rune inscriptions on them. It's hard to do this without the picture or the description. Trying to think else. Honestly, the picture does more justice than I could possibly describe. I don't know. He looks really generic as a fucking human. I don't know. It's hard to.
Just so you know, the stream layout is cycling through our characters with our stats, so everyone will be able to see Rob's face. It was actually just on the screen as you were describing him, but not the whole body. So.
Okay, good.
He looks like
Good
the
for
kid...
everyone except us.
Right.
Yeah.
He looks like the kid from Treasure
From
Planet.
Home Alone. Perfect.
Treasure Planet.
Treasure
yes.
Planet.
He kind of looks like that guy. That's kind of where the inspiration of what he looks like comes from. He's got like blue eyes, like 6 foot. I don't know. I'm reading the description, by the way. Let's see. There's not much going on besides that stuff. Yeah. That's it. Oh, and he's white.
So
Important distinction,
Yeah.
apparently.
you're just wearing leathers, by the way. I just checked your character
Yeah,
sheet.
I thought so. It was leather. It was leather.
For a second, I was like, "You're not wearing armor at all," and then I realized it just says leather.
Yeah.
Thanks, D&D
That makes
Beyond.
sense.
So yeah, we're all walking together. Is that what we're doing? So what time is it really? It's not really.
It's
20
morning.
Morning. Right?
So he invited you over for dinner, and it is early in the morning.
Okay.
Whoops.
Do you?
You're just gonna sit there and wait for like 9 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have anything that Sal would do until dinner time. I don't know if anyone else
Where else
does.
do you
but
kill time aside from the tavern?
Sorry?
Yeah. I would probably like try to hang out with these people, because my like short term is to find, my pack, my people.
Yeah. You're a pack animal.
Yeah.
And of course, Elodius at this point just wants to get as much information for his poems out as possible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's starting to sound like there's juicy stuff going on here, and like juicier the stuff, the better it is for poetry.
I get that hot goss.
Yeah.
And Kadash is just
The
like,
sweet tea.
as long as I continue to hang out here, I might get free food.
Exactly. Probably some of the first people I've spoken with since I've been in town, so I'm like, yep, sticking with them for now.
All right. Sorry.
I'm just trying to think of like what we would do other than like talk and like kind of go more into what we want to tell each other as
Yeah, of course, I'm not gonna like force you to do anything until you guys get together. We can definitely jump ahead there. But if there's anything anybody would want to do, or you think your character would do in the meantime, in the interim, while you're waiting for an appropriate time to show back up at the tavern, is there anything anyone would want to do with the rest of their time?
What's the weather like?
So it would be what we would kind of describe as autumn. It's a little somber. It's cold earth, but it's not quite like freezing. So it's a little dark, a little overcast, but like nothing overbearing, no overbearing heat or overbearing cold.
Flannel weather.
Yeah.
Is there like a lot of foliage around that we would see like the colors of leaves turning or anything like that?
Not a lot, but yeah. So in the few places there are trees, the foliage within the city, or within the town, I should say, is starting to fall to the ground. Not necessarily all of it changing color, but there's a bit of a brown tinge on some of the fallen leaves around you. It's not an overly wooded area, but those of you who are from the Amber Isles or have spent a decent amount of time here know that there are like forested areas quite nearby that you can see off in the distance, but not quite make out any details on.
So we have some time until dinner. Do you guys want to, like, what is the term, hang out?
Are they all with me now, or like are they just all together and I'm already in the inn? Like...
Let's just. So you definitely want to spend your remaining time in the inn?
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna spend breakfast, lunch, and then dinner in the inn.
You're gonna
Yes.
get those reward points.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We could
Not gonna
fly
like
miles
railroad
from
you
us.
out of that, but you just think so. Just for character development, Rob is definitely the kind of guy to just kind of chill for 9 hours.
I feel like
I guess breakfast is probably valid.
I agree.
Was the shipwreck like what woke us up in the morning?
Yes.
Was it, like the commotion? Oh, in that case, Elodius is gonna find a place to shave. He likes to have mutton chops, but he's got like, satyr genes, so it's like every like 5 hours or so he's got like beard coming in on the face again, and it's like, oh dang it.
Do you keep your shaving shears? What do you shave with?
He literally has like a dagger pouch, and he pulls out a straight razor. He's like,
Tight.
I mean, everyone needs to have one, right?
Well,
It's not a terrible idea.
it is breakfast time. Maybe we can head up to the tavern. Does Elodius have like another? Not Elodius. What am I doing? Alren. Does Alren have like another person that would be working the tavern that would continue to keep it open? And
Yeah, so it is run 24/7. In your time here, you have seen a few different people in and out. You recognize Alren, though your conversations with him have been quite limited. He generally will work behind the bar with another barkeeper there as well. But sometimes you'll just see just the barkeeper, others as well. There's probably about like 5 or 6 different people that have worked there that you've seen.
okay, so then I would probably, maybe we can head to the tavern together, and get breakfast and get to know one another, since we are bringing you in on this coup apparently for free food later. It would be nice to get to know you at least, and I think you'd be able to shave in the restrooms.
Sounds like a wonderful plan. I think we avoid calling it a coup, though. Like, we're just friends who came here together. We work together. And I perform a very important part of the whole heroic process.
And just so I'm clear, what did you do?
I am. Everyone needs to have their tales told. Don't you want your stories told?
Right, but did you said you helped. If
I'm helping you.
If Alren asks, he's gonna say, "Hello, what did you do?"
Is that what he sounds like?
I don't know.
Apparently, I have to
Okay,
do
well,
that voice now.
If it comes to that, I could probably afford dinner. I was just kind of hoping he didn't ask.
And Kadash, what did you do again? I was too busy swimming and helping. I didn't see.
Some would call it surveillance.
I think
The lookout.
I think he's a little bitter that we didn't help.
Oh,
So
I'm
you
not. I
can't
promise.
possibly see this on my screen, Kyle, but you leaned in to whisper that to Dane, and it straight up looked like you leaning in to whisper it to Dane.
Nice.
Nice. Very nice.
So yeah, I think we head to the tavern, order some breakfast, and get to know one another, share our
All right.
stories.
So as you enter the tavern, it's a charming, smaller wooden building, a few tables interspaced throughout the tavern with an enclosed doorway towards the back. In the wall makes an L shape, which is where the bar sits in the corner of the tavern at the protruding nook, we'll call it. There's a couple people in there that you would have recognized throughout the crowd. Dane and Kyle, the people that were standing with you, are kind of like somberly kind of continuing with their day. No real conversation to be struck. You can hear like the sound of people whispering amongst each other, while Alvin is speaking to somebody from behind the counter before he like turns to see who entered. Kind of gives like a gentle wave. He's like, "We'll see you tonight," as he walks through the doorway that leads to a staircase that he ascends as the door shuts behind him. You're left in this tavern with about 8 tavern goers and the man behind the bar.
8 tavern goers, you said?
Yes.
I need to know all their names and races, please.
All right. So
And
There.
birthdays.
birthdays, heights, classes, alignments,
Social
and
security
worst
number.
fear.
Favorite color.
social security number.
Okay,
And birthmarks.
Their sign. I need to know this sign because I have to stay
Very
away
important.
from them. If
Oh, yeah,
Their,
no,
their
three-
rising sign as well.
3 of them are Geminis, so you don't want to talk to them.
Are they all the same signs?
Are
we
they
have in
like
the real
full on
world, or do
Gemini?
you
Are
have,
they
like-
on the cusp? Because that makes a big difference.
Full on Geminis, but there is one who's a cusp of Scorpio and a Sagittarius, so God knows what that train wreck is. Am I right, fellas?
I don't think that's how that
Pretty
works.
sure that's not how that works, but
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know for sure. The only reason I know the cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius is the thing is because my siblings are one's a Scorpio, one's a Sagittarius, and their birthdays are 16 days apart. That's the most I know. I don't believe
I
in
am
any
one
of
of
that.
those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to like raise my hand or whatever I need to do to get the attention of the whoever's serving wait staff.
All right, so there is a female of like,
the
rough-
5'8" fish thing.
They are avoiding
I don't
telling
think-
you the special of the day is
Which
cod.
is fish.
Little
say-
fishing town.
I see that they're trying to be coy about it.
Ha! Is that a nice
Oh.
joke?
And I say you don't have to. I just because I'm a Lokatha doesn't mean I take offense.
All right, so presumably you guys sat down at one of the tables. You pull up an extra chair for your new friends. This half-elf woman comes up to you and starts like, "Hey, what can I get for you?"
I'll take the fish. I'm just
She's just gonna-
kidding. It was a joke. It was a joke. What are you serving for breakfast this morning?
She kind of says like, "Well, fruit was on the menu, but unfortunately, all we really have to offer aside from drinks are eggs, various breads."
I'll take some eggs.
Oh, eggs sound good to me.
Definitely go for eggs.
I could go for some eggs and bread. Sounds wonderful.
So she just starts writing down your orders, and she's like, "Yeah, we'll be back." And she puts her hand on Zephyr's shoulder, and she's like, "Thank you for everything." And then she like walks back and like, starts to get everything prepared.
And
Yeah,
Zephyr
Zephyr.
beams a little.
That
I'll explain that.
That reminds me also. Maybe after we eat, we can go help down at the docks. Maybe we can help with the shipwreck stuff and get some of the fruit up and see if anything is salvageable for the festivities.
Yeah, I mean, salt water cleans things, right? So the fruit should still be fine.
It's just
Or
water.
the fruit's the reason why the seraph's call is spread to them.
I mean, not
Crazy
if it's dream magic.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah, I don't
fair
think
enough.
dream magic spreads through fruit. I mean, I don't know much about
You
dream
don't exclusively
magic
know
diseases.
that.
I don't know. Who knows?
Well, maybe maybe we can take this time while we wait for our food to get to know each other better. Maybe something brought us all together to this very moment. If you'd like, I'll start.
Yes, I would love to hear more.
Well, as you can see, I'm a Lokatha. You would probably call me a fish person. I'm from the ocean here. I was.
Is there an entire society just below the waves?
Oh, of course. There's many of them. My tribe is about 100 different Lokatha, and we have our own cove. I come from the Monfalais tribe, and that's as well as you air breathers would call a last name is my tribal name. So Sal Monfalais. But from the time that we're hatched from our eggs, we are raised by the egg mother, and then when we are old enough to hold a weapon and tools, we're raised from the hunt master to become hunters, and that is a life of well, not a life that I cared to live. I wanted to see what was above the water. We have some stories and stuff that I'm sure maybe I'll tell you all around a campfire some night, but there's not really much to me. I'm just a kid. I wanted to see the world and adventure, and I needed to come here, the closest place that I could find once I got out of the water to find my pack. The hunt master always says that you must always hunt in a pack, and I believe that maybe if you'll have me, maybe you guys can be my pack.
I like that he's like, yeah, there's not much to me. Just like a mystical fish person who betrayed my original way of life and decided to live on a different species of people, every day.
And I'm just looking for my people.
And you're my family now.
Yeah, you don't get a choice. You're my family now.
Well,
We will be at campfires
Success-
together, and I will tell you more stories.
Successfully imprinted to us. Oh, okay.
It's like, you're mine now.
Monfalais, our tribal leader, he sent me off graciously. He was very understanding and very caring and loving, and he gave me this ring, and I show them like my hand, and it's just like this glass ring with salt water in it, and it's of my people, and it helps us. As sure you're probably wondering how I breathe. I'm supposed to be submerged every so often, but this ring allows it so that I can, well, I'll show you. And I like turn it in my hand and I activate it. And the glass sort of, for lack of better words, like turns translucent and like evaporates almost. And the whole ring turns to water. And then I use the cantrip Shape Water to sort of like meld it around my body and like into my gills and like my nose and my mouth and stuff, and all around for about a minute or so, as I just kind of wash over myself and refresh, and then it goes back to my hand and then turns back into a ring.
So you just took a shower in front of all of this.
Just took a bath.
Yes, sorry. I probably should have warned you a little more. I just didn't really know how to use the words.
I think it was fascinating.
Thank you.
I mean, I traveled with those elves for so long, and they didn't even tell me there were people under the sea. Let alone I met 2 tribes of sea people today.
Oh,
I mean, you're a sea people, right? You're a little more people than fish like this one.
Yes, I also come from the sea, but much, much deeper than Sal is from.
Wait, so you go deeper and you become more person-like?
You'd be surprised.
Do you live in the abyss below?
Yes, I mean, not quite the abyss, but my tribe is actually known for keeping creatures from the abyss at bay from reaching the surface.
Oh, see, my tribe, we try to avoid the abyss. We stay away from the cliff down there, and we usually stick to the kelp fields and hunt in there. Have you ever seen anything from the abyss come out?
A few times. I'm not necessarily part of the warriors just yet. I was training for that when I got a little sidetracked up here. But my father has definitely fought creatures from the abyss.
If would I know him? Is he renowned throughout the oceans?
No. Perhaps you've heard of our tribal leader, though, Realness Abagath.
Hmm.
Wait. So you're also telling me that there's giant scary monsters at the bottom of the ocean?
Yes.
Melodius is losing his mind right now.
I was avoiding the water because my fur smells bad when I get wet. I think I'm done with the ocean.
Well, no.
These are much further into the ocean.
Yes,
I doubt
that's-
you could be out that far.
Much deeper.
That's a fair point.
The deepest.
The deepest.
Indeed.
But we'll get you. We'll take you. I would love for you to meet my tribe, and Zephyr, I would love to meet your tribe as well.
Want to
I
take
have a
me to where
feeling
the
if
sea
we go-
monsters are?
We'll keep you safe. It's fine.
Oh, I don't know if I want to go near the abyss. Not yet. I'm only a level 1.
I mean,
He says in character.
I suppose going and finding giant monsters would be a fast way to find heroic stories. I'll need some waterproof paper.
We actually just etch everything into very thin stone.
That
'Cause you
sounds
would also
hard.
need ink that doesn't dissipate in
Oh,
liquid.
I didn't even think about that.
But I have no intention of going back anytime soon. If I go there, I'm not coming back up. I have obligations I might be missing out on.
Rough boyfriend.
We
Elodius just slides a little closer. Right up.
I had an arranged marriage, and I decided I wanted to come up and see a storm for myself before I got tied down. And then I got caught up in a storm, and I'm actually not sure where my tribe is from here.
So just to clarify, your character is engaged and wants to experience a little bit more life before they get tied down.
Ding ding.
Okay.
Nothing
How's
to
your-
do with real life.
I'm just checking. So how's your engagement going, Serena?
We're
Want to talk
looking-
after the stream?
looking
Like
for
to do some
adventure.
traveling.
Too bad there's a pandemic.
All right.
Elodius, I've seen air breathers of different races, but yours, I believe, is the first I've seen. What, if you don't mind me asking, are you?
I mean, I'm a satyr. It's not that strange of a creature, really. We tend to live in glades in the forests. My people are very fond of revelry. A little too fond, in my opinion. I'll be honest. Most of my life until now was literally just a giant party, and then some elves came by. They partied for a bit, but then they stopped partying. That was a new thing for me. And they wanted to sit down and talk about things and learn new stuff, and that blew my mind. And then they just they had poetry, they had stories to tell. There was this one elf, he told a poem for 16 hours straight. Elves are wild, man. Wild.
16 hours is a very long time.
I mean, not for an elf, apparently. They told me they lived for 400 years. What is that?
It's too long.
And they don't sleep. They just sit there.
Waiting.
I don't understand. Kadash, why? Do you mind me asking why you stay covered up?
I'm trying to think of what makes the most sense and is safest for me to say right now. I will say I don't always look like this. I'm definitely not from here. I had to kind of leave home fast. But everything's cool right now, I think. Which should be good as far as I know. And I'm excited to be here.
Is it only cool because you don't look like you?
That remains to be seen. But so far so good, right?
I think I just assumed that you don't look like you. It is what it is.
He said he doesn't always look like this, so I mean.
Oh yeah, it's true. And Rob, what you seem pretty normal compared to this motley crew.
We're these freaks, am I right?
Yeah. He'll hold on to like the hilt of his sword. He was like kind of look off for a second and like kind of be lost in his like little world. And he'll say like, I mean, the only thing that you'll really need to know about me is then he said like kind of pause for a moment. Like I was a soldier.
Well, what are you now?
I guess a wandering swordsman, I guess.
Also, how old are you? You were a soldier? You're like 12.
12. I mean, I guess looks can be deceiving. I don't know.
Well,
all you need, that's all I am. It's just I'm a soldier, or was a soldier, and now I just go around and help as many people as I can. That's all you really.
Well, I hope that in time you can learn to open up more.
How long do you expect we're gonna be hanging out together, Sal?
Well, at least the rest of the day. We have to get dinner together, right?
You think he's gonna open up more within a few hours?
Well, if we go down...
Perhaps once he eats.
Yeah.
Oh.
He
Well,
eats.
breakfast is coming.
Maybe we'll get some drinks in him. And then while we're down at the dock pulling up the shipwreck, maybe he'll let some things slip. Who knows? And by things slip, I mean not the stuff back into the ocean.
Not through his fingers.
Yeah.
At this point, your food comes back. You have a fair amount of eggs for 5 growing adventurers to have various breads and drinks brought to the table. The waitress kind of smiles and does like the general like wait staff talk, like thank yous and blah blah blah, kind of keeping it a little on the lighter side as it's hard to be overly ecstatic right now. And then yeah, you guys finish up eating, I suppose. At this point, you guys have shared your backstories. What's the game plan?
I guess it was to head down to the docks, right, and help out.
Guess we're going for another swim.
I mean, I didn't want to speak for everybody, but I think Sal would go down and help out more, whatever he can do.
All right, so as you're feeling a bit more refreshed, a little bit of time has passed. You exit the tavern and look down at the docks. You can see there's roughly like a handful of people out there, still kind of in the water on their various boats, bringing things across. There's a few crates of food sitting on the dock at this point. They're loading up a cart so that way they can bring it back up to the various food housing locations throughout the town. And you make your way down, you can kind of hear them whispering to each other on the dock.
I think I would probably not eavesdrop.
No? Okay.
Not me, but I know Elodius definitely
I'll
would.
do it.
I don't know. They haven't seemed to strike a particularly interesting story to Elodius. Like they're like side characters.
No, I'm definitely
right.
investigating. I'll definitely eavesdrop if that's.
I don't want to railroad you. Yeah, so essentially, there's all in groups of two. There's two of them that are speaking to each other right now, kind of off to the side. Two of them are loading up crates from the boat onto the cart, and there's two people on the boat that are pulling them from the water. And at this point, Rob, you want to speak with the two that are off to the side speaking to each other?
Yep, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm heading.
Okay, cool. So they kind of turn towards you and just kind of like go back, and then they take a second glance, like, you were on the ship.
Yeah, that's right. I was just wondering if you guys were,
Wait. What did you see?
What I see? I saw the boat crash. I went and helped out. Saw some people with like purplish, blackish veins, like, and dead. Obviously, I saw the two fish people. The huge, yeah. I saw the two fish people helping, and that was it. What did you see?
He kind of looks down towards his hand, where you see he's holding a chain. He's like, "This was bound to the wheel of the ship, as if to keep it on course. This was done on purpose."
That's odd. So, okay, do you know what like may have caused that? Like, like maybe any markings, or like maybe like from a sword, or like I don't know, anything that sticks out that besides that it was undone on purpose.
He kind of shakes his head. He's just like, "Everything's a guess at this point. No other bodies have been recovered, but we're still searching. The chain was wrapped around the wheel and tied to the mast, and that's all we know."
Okay. Does the name Seraph's Call mean anything to either of you?
They kind of like straighten up and look at each other. Now's not really the time to be speaking of this. It's not something that some people take lightly.
Okay. Is there anything that I could do to help, or any of my friends here can help?
We're taking our time retrieving things from the water, but it seems your fish friends are a little more skilled in this area than we are.
You heard him.
All right, boys.
All right, let's go.
Volunteered.
Rob all of a sudden taking over.
Yes, I would only get in your way. Just go ahead.
Do you know how to swim? I can
I'm
teach
sure
you.
I probably can. It's like I said before, you don't want to smell me when my fur gets wet. It's awful.
Listen, I'm a fish.
You don't know what awful smells like.
Yeah.
You haven't smelled like goat.
Well, I'm sure we'll. You know what? Never mind. And I just start heading towards the dock.
All right, so you jump in the water. You start to pull things up. The people on the boat will just kind of give you like a wave and thank you. Looking through it, you can see various different like fruits and food throughout these barrels. Nothing else for real interest, but the thing that crosses your mind at this point is the fact that it looks like a full shipment, like everything is still here. Like, not that you're really experts in like agricultural transport by any means, but there's a very large amount of food still here. So you're not unsure as to why maybe these people had done what they had done to the ship without plundering it. So immediately you're like, definitely wasn't pirates. Probably wasn't pirates.
DM, with Zephyr's time having been spent on a trade ship on her way here, would she have heard any rumors of this sort of thing happening to other trade ships?
No, this is very much the first you would have heard of this. You came over here. How long ago at this point did we decide?
I don't think we did, but maybe like a week or two.
Okay.
If-
Yeah. This seems to be something that specifically is troubling the locals. It's not necessarily known of other settlements or nations or anything like that. This is the first that most of you have heard of it, aside from Melodius, as he spent the most time in Thalen's Hearth. So, yeah. Just time passes, you end up getting pretty much everything you can see from the water, anything that looks salvageable by any means. You load it up onto the dock, they bring it up in the carts, and at this point, a few hours have passed as you guys have searched more throughout the wreckage, and it is now growing closer to your dinner date with Alvin.
Where have we? Because none of us live here, right?
No, so there are rooms in the tavern as well as an inn in town as well. So there are plenty of housing options throughout Thalen's Hearth. So.
Okay. I think whenever we're done and there's not really much more to do and we still have to kill some time, I think Sal might go back to his room and probably in the tavern that overlooks the ocean.
Yeah.
Just to see the water. Probably go back there for a little while and then do another refresh of his water and maybe just hang out for a bit. Maybe take some notes before dinner.
Just to clarify, how often do you have to use your
Wash.
So
Hydrate.
the Lokatha people have to be fully submerged every 4 hours. I'm probably just gonna wing it. I don't really think there's like a time, unless you want to enforce a time. Then probably whenever I start to feel like, okay, I'm having a hard time breathing, I gotta redo it.
You start feeling ashy.
Yeah.
And then like in the middle of the
gotta
night,
moisturize.
like I'll probably like have like a hard time breathing, and then it happens every single time I sleep. Like I'll have like a hard time breathing and get woken up, and then refresh, and I'll be able to finish my.
So you have little
rest.
fishy asthma attacks that warn you when you need to rehydrate.
And my ring is my inhaler that I have to hit every 4
Okay.
hours.
You have to
Got some sleep
rub your
apnea.
inhaler all over your body.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Also, when like Zephyrin and Sal were like in the water retreating stuff, Elodius was probably just talking out loud to whoever listened. Was like, "Do you think they'd be insulted if we ate the fish?" I'd eat goat. I know I'm like technically a goat person, but like a goat's not my cousin or anything. Like, do you think they'd eat fish? And he's like looking for serious responses from people.
Kind of just look around and see horrified looks along like the citizens' faces. They're just like, I don't know, man. Like, ask them. How do you bring that up? That being said, like, how aware is a centaur of him being a horse? Is that like an insult to the centaur?
I mean, he's probably fully aware that he's a horse. It depends on the centaur if they want to be like addressed as that.
Yeah. Like,
How do they wear pants though?
I feel like they don't, for that exact reason.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Too difficult to get all those legs in.
Yeah, like somebody tried to make centaur pants, but it just didn't work out.
I would imagine that each leg has like long leg warmer like socks that go up to their torso, and then they have like a harness that goes around them, like a vest.
Suspenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just around.
And then they
the
just
body.
like
it's
button
pretty much-
together. Same
It's
thing
pretty
with
much
like
the same
their,
stuff you do to keep a horse warm.
yeah.
I think it's like the same way like a onesie would work. It would stop at like the human portion, and then it would have to have some kind of button mechanism along the back.
I'm
There's
thinking
like
it's. Go ahead.
More
Finish,
straps.
finish your thought.
like it's barely a thought at this point. It's like a horrendous picture of this loose fabric draping over a mythical creature.
See, I'm thinking like it's a big set of like Adidas tearaway pants, like
Yeah,
neon
see.
green with the stripes, and there's buttons right down the center. So they pull up the middle part with their human arms. They pull it up and they struggle and they try to like reach down between their legs and then put the top half over. They probably have to help each other, honestly.
This is teamwork.
2-horse job.
Team.
Yeah.
Need more horsepower.
Nice. There it is. Okay. Well.
All right, we got a joke out of it.
Melodious
Cool.
skirts.
Let's move on.
Yeah, we finally said something funny.
Just like stammering over and over again until somebody said something. All right. So yeah, you return back to your room at the tavern. Convenient, as said, it's a place you'll be meeting with Alrin momentarily. Everybody else, you kind of just finish up what you're doing, dry off.
Yeah, Zephyrin probably would have gone back to her room as well. Whichever place is cheaper is probably where she'd be lodging. And then she would wash off all the salt water because she doesn't want to smell like a salty fish. And maybe not wear her scale mail to dinner.
I just want to say I appreciate how aware everyone is of their personal hygiene in this group.
It's very important.
Well, we can be.
Yeah. No one wants to smell like wet gauche.
Or fish.
Lost all
Gauche?
sense of the word.
Ooh.
Wet gauche.
Gauche.
Gauche sounds like a gross word. I don't know what that would mean, but something just awful. Not
It
Gauche?
means left in French.
Gauche. Oh. There you go. The only real Canadian in the group can recognize French words.
Isn't it gauche to smell wet after Labor Day?
All right. So you prepare Rob, Kadaj, and Elodius. How do you spend your remaining moments before you meet up with Alrin?
Can I look over like the shipwrecked stuff, the stuff that we recovered? Maybe I can find something weird. Maybe something that might stand out.
Sure. Roll investigation.
Okay. Doo-doo-doo.
I guess I should look at the screen up for that.
Oh god, it's -1.
All right. So
oh
for
boy.
everyone looking, he got
Getting
a
dark
0.
outside.
So you start
God
looking
damn it.
into a bin, and you're just like rummaging through it, trying to figure out what's going on. And one of the citizens that were retrieving it with you is just like, oh, that one, that's nothing. That's our dirty laundry.
Oh no, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. So just looking through the entire wrong area, and now you're too embarrassed to investigate further.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're doing. That's incredibly intelligent. You're trying to see if any trace of what gave them the infection is in their dirty laundry. Maybe it traveled
Yeah.
with the clothes. This is a smart man right here.
You got it. That was it. Yep. That's definitely it. 100%. You caught me.
What a great plan for Rob. And Kadaj. Kadaj and Elodius, what are your last actions before going back to Nice Fen?
Elodius would notice that, like, all of the fruit seems to be here, right? Like, they're not missing supplies. Like,
Yeah, no. So obviously there were some things lost.
like lost, but it's like too
Yeah,
much
but-
left over.
Yeah, there's like a fair amount left. As you've spent some time here, you've seen some of the shipments come in. You were like, there's nothing really missing there.
Like, since he's with Rob right now, Elodius just kind of leave ours. Doesn't it seem a little like, maybe whoever did this was after the people? Like, they wanted... Oh, they wanted the people.
And the people they wanted to go to the port town. Like aiming for those people, or the people that were on the boat? What do you mean?
I mean, whoever did this, like, clearly this was, like even people were saying, this seems to be done by people, and, like, food's here. The people on the ship are missing. I
Right.
think-
If something goes wrong with the shipment, they don't have any food, so they're targeting the town. Yeah, that's probably a good. Yeah, that's probably a good assumption.
Like, there weren't even bodies. They took the whole person.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, they left some tied up, didn't they? But now there's no one left. There's no bodies left in the water.
Oh,
They didn't take the shipment.
I
The only
assume
thing
that
left to take-
they took they tied themselves up from the infection. But that's probably just as
tied
equally.
themselves up.
Yeah.
I'm living
How?
for this conversation right now.
Like they tied each other
Werewolves.
up.
Okay, but like at some point there would have only been one pair of untied hands. How'd that pair of hands get tied up?
The
Yep.
the centaur did it.
These are the
Maybe they're
burning
really good with
questions
their
right here.
feet.
Maybe magic.
Magic is often the answer. I've said that myself many times.
Yeah. That's a good
Kids,
point.
don't do magic. We'll end up like old
My
Alonius
question
here.
is, if they got themselves, or whoever tied them up, or something like that, who was the one that got the chain around the wheel? Like,
I mean,
it could have been the same person probably, and they're just for this like the scene of the crime, but
He does have the history of tying things that we know.
yeah, stuff was tied. It might be some kind of like tied villain.
Is this conversation happening before we split off? Like, am I still there at this point? Is this like while we were like helping out?
This was happening shortly after you guys had finished retrieving everything. That's when Elodius noticed the shipments being what they were. So if you and Zephyrin wanted to get ready before dinner, as you guys both have rooms in the Knight's Fence Crest, you did not have to stick around for this conversation, as you guys know that you're meeting up again shortly. So
I'm
If
just
this-
trying to think like if it would naturally, because I don't think he would have just bailed on this conversation. I think he would have stayed until we were like, all right, so what's your favorite artist to watch paint live on Fantasy Twitch?
I see Twitch.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I would stay while it was necessary to stay, and then once we were like, okay, I think I'm gonna go get ready before dinner, then go back to the room. So
all right, yeah, no,
I just
Sal
didn't
is
want to
pushing hard for
interject.
this family dynamic.
yeah. Sal's, I don't want to go until Mom goes.
Yeah, I've got FOMO.
Zephyrin
I
left.
can't.
Zephyr's definitely
Zephyrin's
showering.
over it.
Zephyr's like, I need a bath.
I need to go get ready.
Zephyrin definitely seems the least interested in the family dynamic, whereas correct me if I'm wrong, right now Kadaj kind of has like a safety in numbers feel going on. Elodius is fangirling over the adventurers. Sal wants to make this his new adoptive family, and Rob is just full-on Scooby Gang trying to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Sounds
I
all
would
right.
say Elodius isn't necessarily like fangirling over the adventures themselves. It's just the concept of being able to record the adventure. It's like, this is what I'm here for, baby.
Oh no, his reasons are
Paid
definitely
for it.
selfish. Like he wants to do this for his own art.
He's a journalist looking for that hot lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All journalism at this point is written in the form of long poetry. Just like
At least that you
super
know of.
obtuse.
So, assuming Sal is still there, like before we actually do branch off, I would say, well, you know, I don't necessarily know that they tied themselves up, but just to lend some ideas to this, they could have used, there's the low level spell that some casters know, the mage hand one. They could have used the mage hand to help tie, but this doesn't feel like that. I think I'm more with Elodius on this. I think they were tied up and then somebody left.
I love how
left them.
Sal full on just like breaks the fourth wall. Just like low level spells and I'm level 1. He's fully
Well-
aware he's in a game right now.
The level one was I think a fourth wall, but I feel like low level spells is like that's
I mean, it is a cantrip.
general term, right? It's a,
Beginner spells.
yeah.
Elodius can literally just start doing the spell he mentioned, like just like
Oh, you mean this one?
Right.
This-
Yes, like Elodius could tie himself up if he wanted to.
I just imagine
that's something
Elodius
very
using
interesting I hadn't
mage
thought of
hand
yet.
to write this down.
Say more. Just
Yes,
right
oh,
in the
yes.
background.
I can just hold the paper up with my mage hand. I don't
Yeah.
have to do the leg thing. Oh,
Yeah. So,
wow.
or you could hold the paper up with your hand and write with mage hand.
And write it.
It's true, I use both hands like a table. But I mean, I like the feel of the quill. It's nice.
Right. Or you could hold up a piece of driftwood as an actual table. There's many things you can do with that.
Like
that
a
hand.
clipboard. You could use the
You know-
hand as a clipboard.
Yes.
I think maybe we should get back on the topic of like the attack and kidnapping.
Oh yeah. No, hang on.
Presumed attack and kidnapping.
Yeah. I don't know about the kidnapping, but
Not
I
probably
mean,
the
maybe
good
they
guys.
weren't alive. Maybe they just needed the bodies.
did
Although, why would they leave 3?
Rob? You spoke with them. Did the others? Did you ask how many people usually go out on the ship? I don't remember.
I didn't ask that.
Because maybe if the rest of the crew that did go out for the to get the fruit, maybe they were the ones that tied them up and then went overboard. We didn't check to see if there were the other life rafts were tied to the boat or not.
Right. So, I guess the people that were not tied up, that's probably our best bet of, well, I guess our top suspects or our top lead, if that makes sense. But where would they have gone, like, after the crash? Were they just, like, them put it in half?
Maybe they were boarded by another ship. Maybe it was another something that could fare well in the water, like our fish friends here.
Could have been that too. That's true. There's a lot of things it could have been.
Everyone just changed order on my Zoom screen here. Is everything good on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
nobody
Yeah.
moved on ours.
Yeah, good.
Everyone's in
Everything
sync.
good on yours, Ryan? Or
Yeah,
was Ryan the one that did something?
I had an internet spike just happen. Everyone's still good on mine, but you all did start getting glitchy during that conversation, and I was the only one that was still able to move. I checked my OBS, so that's gonna be a little whack, but whatever.
Whoops.
Ops.
You guys are fine. Let's rock and roll.
Okay.
You can also
Cool.
click and drag the people's names if you want to rearrange it to how it was.
I'm gonna put you in order of my favorites.
I'm
Oh, and we don't even get to see
And
what
you will
order he's
never
in.
know. Well,
That's
Serena
gonna
will
be
know
an
she's
observation
last,
quick.
but
Oh.
Oh.
I'm bummed because that was like deep convo. I forgot what even happened.
they were discussing the various conspiracies that could have led to the
Right.
Yeah,
situation at hand.
We all got our tinfoil hats on pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's straight up like 4 different conspiracy theories on what may have happened, which is filling me with joy, I gotta say. But
Yeah, because we're probably completely wrong.
Aliens.
I can't say for sure, obviously. But like,
This presumably happened in the ocean, obviously. If they
it happened
so.
in the ocean because that's where boats are.
right. But I'm just thinking, is Serena or not Serena? Is Zephyrin still there?
Nope.
No.
Zephyr,
No,
She-
She noped out of there.
I
right
like-
after
I
She
we
came back for the
finished.
mage hand conversation
I
and then
looked-
left again.
she's
I
like,
looked to
done
where
here.
Zephyrin was standing, and there's just I'm like, oh, well, the abyss is out there, and I don't know if maybe this has something to do with that. I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but it's maybe it could be a lot of different things. Maybe it's some kind of like bird crew, like a bunch of birds, humanoid birds came in and
They're real.
Going
Humanoid
forward,
birds.
Rob just blames everything on birds.
birds.
They come from who knows where. They go God knows where.
Honestly, I think maybe maybe we wait until dinner and we hear what Alrin has to say, and maybe
Right, this
we
has
can.
happened once before.
What has?
Oh, right. Yeah, he said this happened before.
Yes,
I
I
forgot
was
to
listening
mention
at that point. He said it usually happens by land.
Yeah, this particular, didn't
What was
happen
it?
before.
I'm not
But-
sure if he was just referencing the Seraph's Call,
He probably was.
or like.
Well, I
I don't
don't
know
think
how
he
many
referenced the boat, because I
Right.
don't think that would have happened on land.
Well, I meant a bunch of people disappearing.
Right.
Fair.
Well, yeah, I guess I'll just figure out more like by dinner.
I do remember a couple weeks back, I did see the same thing. Someone else had died, and they were taking them out on a gurney, and all I saw was their arm. But I didn't mention it before because I don't really know much more than that, other than I'd seen this once since I've been here. So I don't know if it was something that happened here or what, but I think that might kind of rule out the fruit now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, that would. Yep.
I mean, like I said, like I've heard of the Seraph's Call a couple times before, but it was always mentioned all in the context of their dreams. So, like, dream magic.
The dream magic again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think our best bet is to wait and see what Alrin says and maybe piece it together after.
Yeah, I agree. We need more evidence or more
Information.
direction. Yeah, information.
More evidence. Detective Rob.
Yeah.
This is where our highest intelligence in the group of 10 comes into play.
Everybody collectively pulling their brain cells together. There's 5 of us and 6 of these things, so.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, no. Highest is 10.
I have 11,
We're the
actually.
smart party. Wait, you have
No,
11?
Cadet
Oh, that's
has 11.
well, okay, still
Oh, I have
plus
8.
0.
Not much.
My wisdom is high, but my intelligence is 10.
Same.
So, Rob's intelligence is 8.
Yep. And my wisdom is 10.
That's why
He's
he's
leading
that's why
the
he's
They
fishing for
tied
investigation.
silver.
themselves
Explain a lot.
together.
Explain
That's
a
why
lot.
he's like, this is
Birds.
narrowing down to birds, werewolves, or zombie fruits. I know
Yeah.
that it's a fact.
Yeah, exactly. And while I'm
You
looking
know-
through laundry.
One of these three.
It sounds like we're pretty on point. We're
Yeah,
playing.
no, you're telling me
very
someone
well.
else got on this boat and tied them up? No, they tied
No,
themselves
it was
up.
definitely.
Yeah.
It was an
They did that
inside
for
job.
Don't worry, Rob,
Exactly.
you'll show all of them.
Yeah, you'll
Follow your
see.
trails. Start looking in the nests. All right. So at this point, your conversation kind of dissipates as you have much more to ponder on with the many options presented to you by Rob. So you're thinking, was this a kidnapping? Was this some sort of other shipboarding? Was it the zombie bird pirates? Like, who's to
Werewolves.
say? Werewolves, zombie bird pirate werewolves.
Centaurs.
Flying werewolves. We have something to worry about. So as it dissipates, you guys start to get ready. Zephyrin getting a head start on you as to increase the stereotype of women getting ready for a long
Of
period
course,
of
you
time.
got to keep the stereotypes going.
Just going to enforce it all in there. She also gets 70% of the gold per quest as the rest of you guys.
Oh no.
Whoa.
Receives or just uses.
What's it called? Where was I? Oppression. Before that. So you guys all make your way back towards the tavern. Zephyrin and Sal are kind of descending the stairs from the upper floor where all of the rooms reside. The rest of you kind of just waiting around as it starts to kind of filter out. People are kind of not in a public drinking kind of space today. It's a somber day for Thalen's Heart. So as people are filtering out, you see Alrin kind of making his rounds, talking to people, almost as though he's ushering them out, kind of talk with people like as they like settle up or like being like, oh yeah, like don't worry about, and leads them back up to their rooms. And as time goes on and it starts to become more and more prevalent that you guys are going to be alone with Alrin, his last remaining waitstaff brings each of you various foods. So indiscriminate breads and cheeses, like meat on the table as well. Just like a full, like large meal for each of you to take part in. As he bolts a latch on the door and kind of ushers his waitstaff away. It's just the five of you sitting at the table as Allren approaches.
I lean over to Sal and just whisper quietly, I told you he wouldn't say anything.
I'm just wondering, wasn't this a 24-hour tavern?
Don't worry about it.
Serena, I can't hear you.
That's okay. I was kind of whispering.
Oh, okay. Not for me to hear, I guess.
No, for no one to hear apparently, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
So Allren just kind of like glances around the table. It's like, everyone well fed? Kind of like glances over at Kadaj, like, you were part of the rescue team as well?
Yeah.
A little more indirectly, but yes.
Right. Well,
Question, Kadaj. How do you eat?
I mean, I could take my mask off to eat.
Okay,
It's not like I
do you
don't have
take it down?
something like.
Yeah, you can go out to restaurants and you sit down and
Yeah.
then you can take your mask down.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, is it like Kakashi, where like underneath your mask you have another
Oh.
mask, or?
No, nothing like that.
you weeb, of course you'd reference.
He has like, he has a fully proportioned face. Like it's not like.
He's hiding it from the public, but you guys are alone. It's the six of you now, the five of you.
And we're family now, so.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
as Sal keeps
Right.
telling us.
Yeah. With yeah, so he kind of looks around and is like, so what do you want to know?
Well, did you know that the people inside the boat were tied up?
That I didn't. My brother being one of them.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say, I
Yeah,
can't
he
remember.
was super brutalized before he died, Allren, just so you know.
Do a good start.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. You can see on his face that he's merely looking for clarification. It doesn't seem to nearly bother him as much as you might have assumed. It's like, that is different, but it was expected.
Okay. So, what is the Seraph's call that you were talking about before?
So, I guess maybe a better word for them might be premonitions. Everyone in Thalen's Herds gets them, eventually.
What?
Well, we're
what? Like like everyone in the town gets premonitions?
here and there, not all together. A few days ago, a friend of mine came up to me and let me know of Torrin's fate. I didn't know when it would happen, but I've done my mourning.
Did he mention anything else besides him dying?
The vagueness of the dreams varies depending on the call, but who's to say?
So you're saying that the Seraph's call isn't this thing that killed them, or it's the premonitions that people have that something's going to happen to them?
Why, yes, the veins have only happened on a small handful of the victims. I have no answers for that, unfortunately, but the Seraph's call is what we refer to as premonitions. It dates back to the very beginning of Thalen's heart, Thalen himself.
Who's Thalen?
Thalen was the first, I suppose. They experienced all these dreams, and as they grew older, they realized that many of them were coming true. He met with the kings of Velendor, and as he started to explain things that might happen, crimes and the like that the kingdom might be interested in, they they took interest in Thalen, and to the point where they would preemptively execute the people who were committing these crimes. Thalen became later known as the Hangman's Oracle, as he worked directly, Ryan's big smile, as he worked directly with the Royal Executioner. Each person who was brought up was realistically innocent at the time, but as he kept making these accusations of crimes to be committed, people of Velendor became very displeased with him, to say the least, which is when he retreated here to the Amber Isles. He set up what was just once a small town here, but or a small settlement here, and some of the other locals who had camped out. It was just nothing more than a fishing village at the time. He was eventually sought out and murdered right here in this inn.
In this inn, he was murdered.
Not in how you see it now. It later became a tavern, as it was sort of a sight to be seen by some of the people of the Amber Isles, but it has a gruesome past, but I assure you, all we know is since that day, everyone who stayed in Valen's heart have been having these same premonitions, not to the same extent, of course, but you stay here long enough and you'll get them too.
That's a lot to take in.
Did tell you about the dream magic, though.
Yeah,
I just was wrong about it being connected to the vein things.
Yeah, that's odd. Did you know that that there was a chain wrapped around the wheel, on the boat where that crashed this morning?
If I'm being honest, the less I know of the scene, the better. I've done my mourning and I've come to peace with my brother's passing, but the nature of which is still something I'd like to keep ignorant.
So I'm assuming you don't know anything about that.
Unfortunately not.
Should I roll an insight check? See if he's fucking with me?
Go for it.
Awesome. Let's see.
So in preparation last week, we played a one-shot in which every roll Eddie had made was
dog
basically-
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Putting it. So
Pretty sure he rolled higher than 10 one time.
Yeah, and it was the killing blow, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But every other hit he made missed, so that 0 he rolled previously was quite in character for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very
This program
on brand.
hates me. Yeah. I rolled a 12.
Yeah, I saw that, so it's finally over 10.
Yeah.
Good
God.
Super proud of you.
Thank you.
You do trust him. You feel like there may be some things he's keeping to himself, but it generally, you assume that he might be holding back due to the situation being a very heavy topic for him.
Mm-hmm.
But
Um,
he seems pretty earnest.
Alvin, I have a couple questions. The first one is a very simple one. How many people usually go out with the ship?
We'll ask that next. Yep.
Depends on the harvest, really.
Well, this particular one, do we know how many people left?
Gosh, I want to say 18.
18.
18?
They all typically come back.
Most of which reside here in Thalen's heart. So yes, it's quite troubling to know that many of them didn't return.
Do you happen to know who was captaining the vessel?
My brother Torin every trip.
There were other cases with these black tendrils. Do you know if people disappeared that were with these people too?
Sorry, could you rephrase the question?
Like the other times, like I know my friend here has seen a man carried out on a gurney with the black tendrils on his hand. When these other cases popped up, were there other people who have gone missing then too? Like 3 appear now and 15 people are missing.
He kind of like looks down and he kind of like playing with his hands and his apron a little bit, and he's just like, all I have are rumors.
think that's all we have at all. Might be
Okay.
best to you.
Can I do an insight
So-
check on that one?
Sure.
Since he hesitated there. Four.
Or, yeah, you don't really get much of a read off of him, but kind of like through the stammering, mutters out like, we've come to believe that maybe the veins form from enforcing their fates. When we hear the premonitions, days, weeks, months pass before they come true. Some, as you can imagine, are afraid of the power involved in the Seraph's call. So, if somebody interferes, tries to change the fate or deal with it themselves, believe that the veins are a marking of the Seraphs themselves.
My second question: the last person that had suffered this fate, do you know anything about that? Do you know what happened?
I'd like to give you more information, but it's been happening for so long now that we've just come to terms with it. And I might say that not all of the premonitions are this gruesome, but it does happen. So,
Do we think that maybe someone from the ship had a premonition from the Seraph's call and maybe saw that something was going to happen with Torn or the other two, and maybe you would say that he was a pretty honorable man, correct?
I have nothing but the kindest words to speak for my brother.
So maybe he overheard someone else on the ship, and they had a premonition of something with one of the other two, and he tried to stop it, and then the other person tried to stop it, and they just tied all three of them up. And maybe they just didn't return to Thalen's Hearth because they knew what was to come if they came back with three men tied up.
All things possible.
So maybe that's our. We gotta find these people. We have to find out. Bring them maybe to justice.
Did your brother make any mentions of his own premonitions, or maybe like his own like experiences on the sea that might involve what's going on?
We've had nothing but the best relationships with Velendor for a long time now. He's nothing out of the ordinary. Waves and the like, and weather not being as promising as predicted, but nothing out of the ordinary for a sailor to experience.
How long does it usually take to get to Velendor?
In the most ideal of conditions, a couple weeks.
I don't know that I necessarily want to charter a ship to make the trip and see if anything happens. But maybe that will be what it comes to. Maybe they'll need somebody to actually do that. I also don't really feel super comfortable going over the abyss, but
Knowing it's there lurking.
yeah.
All that matters, I think, at this point is that the key to solving this is with those missing 15 people.
I agree. 15 is a lot to just go missing.
Right?
Perhaps somebody here has had a premonition about those 15 people that would help us track them down.
That's a good idea. We could probably ask around. It could be the same person that told him about his brother. Who told you about your brother in that premonition?
So just to recap for just out of character, that was Lou, that was Gaia, the person on the ship who had aided you. Lou was the person who came unconscious. Nope, yeah, it was Lou.
Yes.
I'm losing my own story. Thank you. Lou is the one that came unconscious. So Lou was kind enough to give me his condolences on the way out. He was aware of my brother's soon to be before he had joined him on the ship, but we had no idea that it would occur then. No, Lou.
Did he tell you that your brother would soon die?
The premonition was told to me by another friend of mine a few weeks back, but Lou was made aware as well. But we swore not to tell Torn.
So wait, you knew about this before your brother went off?
Yes.
You still let him go?
We didn't know he would die by ship, unfortunately.
Yeah, this seems like if he was. So really quick to go back, you said the people that try to change their own fate are the ones that have this happen to them?
Again, that's nothing more than a rumor. It could be somebody interfering with another. It's travel around so much.
Based off of your rumors. That's what we're going off of, yes? Because this
I believe
could have
that
been
if you
maybe maybe Torn did what was that guy's name? Gaia?
Gaia.
Maybe did he have a premonition of the other two as well, or
Not that I had known. I was only told of my brother for my own sake.
maybe we should ask around and see if anyone had premonitions of him, or maybe do you know who the other two were?
I've been pretty absent, trying to avoid most of the information. As I said, I don't want to delve too deep into it, as I made my peace. But
Right, but we still
I know everybody who went off on the ship with him, and I know most didn't return. But I personally knew everybody that went on the ship.
we're gonna
Can
need
we have
all
a
of those.
list?
We're gonna need all
Yeah.
those names. Elodius, write this down.
Everybody talked at once there. Sorry, Eddie, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was pretty much the same thing he was saying. We need a list.
Give us the names,
All right, I'm going to go to a name generator.
names and relations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to, Dylan, just to skip that part for right now for the stream, you can come up with those names and then like give us a literal list, and I'll.
Oh, I will give you a literal list. I just
Don't have to do that right this second. If you have to pull them
I
up.
will.
So what I'm thinking is if these three people wanted to change their own fate, and this happened to them, maybe they had the other crewmates tie them up and leave on the other ships. But then again, I don't know why they would send them on a crash course to Thalen's Hearth, like right to your doorstep, essentially, like right out your front door.
Perhaps it was so all the supplies still arrived.
Maybe.
You see that
But then why would the other 15 not have come back?
Maybe they just landed somewhere else and they're on their way.
What if someone had a premonition that wasn't about the deaths of these people? What if these people left because they had a premonition about something at Thalen's Hearth? Speculation, of course.
the look on Eddie's face when you had said that, though, was just like,
Yeah. It's like,
And he's super into conspiracies.
I was really digging this mystery.
Yeah, I'm super into it.
Yeah.
Sorry, just backtracking here a little bit. So you can tell that the conversation is starting to make Alren uncomfortable. His eyes are watering a bit more, his jaw's quivering a little bit. And he just kind of turns to him like, please enjoy your meal, revel in your victory. You did a great thing for Thalen's Hearth today. And I couldn't thank you enough. And he just kind of pats Lodius on the back and like wanders off to the back room.
So, I mean, I feel bad, but at the same time, he's really the only one that we know of that would be able to have any information that would help. I feel like
I mean-
maybe the timing isn't the best, but we needed to
Does
ask,
he though?
right?
It doesn't sound like he knows much else other than
No,
whoever told him that there was a premonition about his brother.
right. I meant like just the things that we learned from him. I maybe we should have waited and gave it until at least the next day to come and ask these things, but who knows?
He invited us
Yeah,
and asked us to ask our questions.
that's true. I just feel bad. He lost his brother today, and he knew he was going to lose his brother. It just happened sooner. It makes me miss home a little bit.
So I'm a little conflicted about staying here because on the one hand, this place is definitely cursed, like super cursed.
Salem's Hearth, more like Salem's Curse, am I right?
But,
Yeah,
but
you got
also
it.
like I kind of want to stick around until I get a premonition. That sounds awesome.
Just here for 40 years. Just
Give me the dreams.
One of these days.
I mean, we have a lead to like what we can like do to figure out more. We have the list of people that we can talk to their families. Maybe there's some kind of premonitions that can help. And we also have Lou. Yes, Lou.
Lou and Gaia were the two from the ship.
Yeah,
that helped you.
Who gave him the original premonition, and then there's Gaia, who was also involved in that. So we have like plenty of leads to figure out. I don't think we don't have to talk to Auron much longer about it if we
Right.
had to.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe we just eat and then rest up for the night and come back, meet up again tomorrow and try to figure it out. Do you guys want to be a pack with me?
Less than 24 hours.
You my dad now?
Like, how old is everyone's character? I mean, I guess some people aren't gonna say, but like,
Yeah, well, like, how old do satyr generally live?
well, my satyr is 19. He's
Oh.
not old.
I'm 16.
Oh boy. 26.
I look young. I look around 20-ish.
All right,
So
you
I'm
keep
not going to
going
follow
with
up
this.
without anybody's fascination with playing children, so we'll just hope that's a character
I
plot.
probably look like an adult drow, which can vary like 100-ish years or so. But yeah,
Yeah,
age is
smooth
number.
skin.
Satyrs age the same as humans.
Do they? Okay. I should know that.
Tritons can live up to 200 years old, so 26, I guess, isn't that old.
Yeah.
I
One-
think our lifespan
eighth
is
of your
around
life.
the 120.
Okay. So you're quite young for a fish person then.
As soon as I was like able to leave and live my own, I did.
Well, it makes sense. Fish, animals tend to like grow up real fast. Like an animal, deer is born, and it's like I gotta start running.
Well, I'm
So-
thinking it more in terms of like a angsty teenager who's like, you know what, Dad, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna go.
You know what, dead mother? I'm an
gonna go.
adult.
I'm gonna go get my own apartment.
Yeah.
Be my own man. Watch me get a job at
Hot topic.
yeah, and I'm gonna wear wristbands.
This
and
conversation never
eyeliner.
happened.
Lodius is pretty angsty
gonna-
teenager.
I'm
He's
gonna
like,
chill.
no, Mom and Dad, I don't want to party.
I'm gonna change my
I'm gonna
name to
read
Dylan.
books and write poems.
I'm gonna learn things.
So I think maybe. Do you want to meet up tomorrow and we'll figure this out?
Yeah, I say we talk to Lou and Gaia first thing tomorrow. After breakfast.
Yeah, of course, breakfast first.
Okay.
Most important meal of the day.
Yes.
And I hope that we don't have another shipwreck that wakes us up in the middle of the night.
What a incredibly
Bar has been set.
yeah.
Also,
This is-
can we
Man, I
just,
just hope I can get 8 hours without a fucking ship crashing inside of me.
This is
Also-
how it's like, again?
if you guys have any premonitions, please share them. Don't keep it a secret. Are we supposed to share them? I think I missed that. If you share them, is that what kills you?
No, I think it's if you try and
You
stop
try to
it.
stop it. So maybe we keep our premonitions to ourselves.
I would say it depends
I
on what
mean-
it is.
I mean, only if you think they would try and avoid it. Like,
I mean, if you tell me I'm gonna die, I'm probably gonna try to avoid it. So I think
yeah,
if you have anything about me, just don't tell me, okay?
but then
Unless it's
just
something, like,
die
simple.
anyway.
Well, I guess.
But if if we get a premonition and try and stop it, then maybe we'll see the Seraph thing.
No,
We
the
can
premonitions
find it.
are the Seraph thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, they're the Seraph's call. But like, wouldn't the Seraph be like? Didn't he say something like it's the thing that gives him the tendrils, like them trying to stop their fate?
Oh, the Seraphs are the ones giving the tendrils.
Oh.
That's the,
No.
This man was very
Remember.
vague.
No.
if he gave you direct answers, it wouldn't be a mystery. I know it's the first one I've written.
Yeah, I have nothing else. I can't really think of anything more other than, like Rob said, speaking with the others in the morning.
All right. So, is it safe to say that you guys kind of finish up your little sewing circle? You,
This does
Fin-
have a question about fish.
okay.
What is your question?
Oh, I was gonna let it fade to black on that and just assume that they had
Just
a
hope it's-
fish eating discussion.
Oh no, I don't fade to black. I'm all color.
All right. So, safe to say that you guys just finish your food and then head up to your respective rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, you guys are kind of packing up. The rest of the wait staff are kind of like cleaning up around as they notice you leaving. They unlatch the door, prop it open so that way people can enter as they please again. You guys ascend up to each of your respective rooms and get a good night's rest, I assume.
Hopefully.
All right.
I get like a good
That
4
part remains
hours,
to be
and then
seen.
I wake up with my
In extreme panic and
Yeah,
terror.
and then I get another good 4
And then
hours.
So
you
much
go back to
pain.
sleep. And then you
That's-
wake up again in extreme panic
Yeah,
and
and that's how
terror.
I start
And then
my
you're
day
up for
every
the
day. Yeah.
Don't we all though? Oh God, life!
Odious is just lying down like, think premonition thoughts. Yes.
There's got to be a ritual you can do. All right. So, each of you are laying down as you go to rest. When Zephyrin, you are awoken by the sound of a creak. Oh, you hear it. As you look around your dark room, you don't see anything. What do
I
you
don't
do?
like that. I will probably reach near. Zephyrin probably sleeps with her hand axe under her pillow.
We
Not
all-
her warhammer.
That
Her
doesn't sound
warhammer's
comfortable at all.
propped over there, but her hand axe, because she doesn't have any daggers or anything. That's just what she has. She'll probably just like put a hand on it and kind of like slowly sit up and like examine a little bit more thoroughly as she's waking up a little bit closer.
All right, so you hear another much shorter, settled creak. What can I make you roll for hearing the direction it's coming from? Let's just say insight.
Yes, I say insight or perception, I guess.
Let's call it perception. I think you roll like 4 insight checks already.
Okay.
You're quite insightful.
So insightful. 16.
16. So as you hear the second creak, you dart your eyes towards the doorway. So you're just in this square box of a room with a wooden cot in it. There's a window overlooking the ocean on the east face of the room, and then along the west face of the room is the door, and you believe the creaking can be coming from there.
Or oh man, women love it when people creep into the rooms at night. By the way,
Don't they? That's why I met my wife.
Lodius just walks out. It's like, so fish women sleep like people.
I think Zephyrin will get up out of the bed and walk slowly over there. She won't even say anything. She'll just like kind of walk with like her hand axe and like her hand out 'cause she can't see anything, but there's something there.
You don't have dark vision?
Triton
I
have
don't
dark
know.
vision.
You probably, I don't know.
That's
Do
60
I?
feet dark vision.
Well, but she can't. He just said I can't see anything though.
It said you can't see anyone.
Yeah.
Like,
No one's there. It's not that you can't see
not
it
pitch
because it's
black.
dark.
You do
But
have
I'm
dark vision.
hearing creaking, and I can't see anybody. So she's feeling for somebody that's clearly hiding.
Just wave
Hello?
around your war.
I hope it's not a ghost.
Serena, you do have dark vision. It's in the
Oh,
box
thank you.
underneath your passive perception and stuff, where it says senses.
Oh, look at that. There it is. I do have dark vision. But anyways,
I don't feel nearly as bad about not learning your character because apparently you didn't need her, so
Nope.
we're on the same page.
Man, only 2 out of 5 have dark vision. That's probably the lowest dark vision party I've ever been in.
yeah.
Everyone in like Kyle, the last campaign we played, everyone had dark vision. So it's like you walk into a dark room, they're like, I see everything. I'm like, well, there
Yep.
goes the
But
game.
it's in black and white.
Yeah,
Shades of gray.
yeah. So yeah, you start to approach the door. Are you approaching it in the sense that you are definitely going to investigate what's going out on there? Are you trying to sneak up on it? How are you approaching it?
She's probably trying to sneak up on it. But so my stealth is set for disadvantage. I assume you're gonna ask me to roll a stealth check.
I am.
But she's not wearing her scale mail to bed, which is what gives her the disadvantage. So.
That's fair. So we'll eliminate the disadvantage.
Okay.
Is it going to auto make you roll that on?
I think so, but I'm just gonna roll a d20 on roll 20.
You don't have any like pluses or minuses. Sick.
7.
7. The second you step out of bed, a creak louder than the other two combined
Sick.
emanates throughout the room. Emanates? No.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Sure.
Echoes?
Reverberates.
Reverberates.
That's the
Reverberates.
word.
That's the one I wanted.
Happens.
Flip back. The second you step out of the bed, a creak louder than the other two combined reverberates throughout the room and echoes into the hallway. Then all you hear following this is a pitter-patter of feet, growing fainter as it goes, presumably down the hallway.
Well, we're following it, but much faster and less stealthier.
They're just like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. No, she does not like that something was in her room.
All right. So, you just burst through the door and start just sprinting down the hallway to where you hear sound coming from.
Yeah. She's probably in this like kind of raggedy nightgown that looks like maybe it was a burlap sack at one point in time. She definitely didn't pack night clothes with her when she went to go find a storm. So she's
You,
like somebody's hand-me-down.
You just robbed the medic kit, and put 3 holes in it. So everybody else, do you want to roll, let's call it perception, to see if the sounds awake you?
Okay.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Did Eddie roll something good?
He
Yeah.
did.
I can't believe it.
You perceive the gotta stop swearing. You perceive the heck out of that.
Oh, the darn heck. So I have advantage for. Hang on, let me double check this. Perception. Where the hell did my advantages go?
Nat 20.
Beans.
Did it?
Ah, beans.
I don't know how to tell Eddie that nobody's dabbed since 2018.
I'm still doing it.
Clearly, Eddie's dabbing since
Yeah.
then, so.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. That was Pat has advantage on perception.
Pat.
Oh, Pat.
Sal does not. So
I'll
I
tell
apologize.
you of Pat later.
9 for me.
9. So the only person to wake up is Rob as you hear thundering footsteps of this 5-foot fish woman pounding down the hallway as she runs towards her would-be intruder.
Yeah. So Rob will immediately get up, like, almost in a gasp, like, huh! And then you immediately like, try to like go over to the direction of the sound.
Okay.
Try to check it out.
So you kind of burst out of bed. You open your door to see her just sprinting down the hallway towards
A hand axe.
Yeah, with a hand axe in hand, towards some indiscriminate other object or person. You are nearing, Zephyrin, you are nearing your would-be intruder as you can start to make out who they are. You can't quite point it out, but they look vaguely familiar from behind, someone you may have seen around town. As you start to gain on them, do you say anything, or they're making their way down the stairs towards the entrance or the tavern portion of the building? Portion.
Nope, she's just full on sprinting. She's not saying anything. She's just
No war cries or bestial sounds, just determination. I respect that about her.
Sprinting.
All right, and then you kind of see who you're a little intimidated by at this point, just like gunning towards this other object. I assume I don't want to assume anything. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna go chase. I'm gonna chase after Zephyrin, and I'm gonna yell, "Zephyrin!" Nope.
So just
Nope.
nothing. You're just determined on
This is
catching this creep.
very intense.
I just keep on following as best I can.
All right,
Doubting
so
wake anyone else up.
Nope. Got covered in the moment.
yeah. So Zephyrin,
Did
You
you
got
yell
first-
in the hallway?
Yes, I do that though. I do that. Did that.
So do we?
do you want to roll another perception check to see what's going on?
Yelling louder
Sure.
than sprinting.
Because generally, only thing that wakes up Sal is life-threatening danger. So maybe this falls under.
That's a crit, dog. 22.
Ooh.
How did Eddie? How do you do it? Is it?
Like that. Oh, yeah.
That's okay. It's a
Everyone rolled at
recording
that time.
of a stream. Everybody's going to just assume this was filmed 15 years ago when people started dabbing. It's
Except
fine.
for
Eddie.
all the talk
We'll be
we
back.
did about the
We
plague.
can fix the timestamp on this, right?
Yeah, somebody just put like a camcorder thing right here.
Yeah.
So everybody awakes at this point to Rob yelling for Zephyrin. Zephyrin, you are now approaching the door to the tavern as the person just bursts through and starts to run towards the exit of the tavern. You are pretty close, tailing maybe like 10 feet behind them at this point.
I think I missed it. Does she actually see a person?
She does.
Okay.
I see they're back.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as soon as Zephyr's close enough, if she gets close enough, she would like to tackle that person.
Okay, so they are approaching the entrance to the tavern. You're just outside the Knightsman's Crest, and you jump to tackle him. We'll do athletics.
Sure.
Sounds right.
Seems like a thing. Oh, wow. 7.
7. Okay, so you leap after him and just kind of like scrape the back of his calves as he continues to run, and you hit the ground. You can see him running towards the general what is the word for it? Not urban portion, but I guess the suburban portion of the town where people's homes
The
are.
residential.
Residential. Thank you, Dane. Residential portion
These
of the
are
town.
hard.
They are. I should know more of them than the 6 I've been saying. But yeah, so they start to run towards the residential part of the town as Rob, you come up behind her as you've witnessed this attempted tackle with justice. Do you want to aid Zephyrin, or do you want to start charging after?
I'll try to like help her up as quick as I can, and ask if she's all right.
Get it? He was peeking on me while I sleep.
I didn't think this through. I just chose Zephyrin at random. I was like, yeah, the one woman in the group was getting creeped on. So I just want to say for
I've
everybody
never
involved,
seen a fish lady before.
Just heavy breathing in the corners.
next time we have a
A
person-
voyeur.
a voyeur, to say the least. I'll have them creep on one of the guys, so it's not as hidden home. So you're helping them up, and you guys are just dead determined. The rest of you descend the staircase, kind of confused, but you can see there's a couple people that are like just kind of like looking super confused, eyeing towards the door, like, what the hell was that? What the underworld was that? I don't know if hell exists in this world.
It's your world.
Did
Yeah,
you hear the
you
exchange
are
of
allowed to
he was
swear.
peeping on me?
What's up?
You are allowed to swear. We are adults.
No, I'm not saying because hell. I'm saying because hell is a location on Earth.
So I would
and-
hells if you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, D&D has the 9 hells.
Yeah.
Th-
What the
there we go.
hells?
But that exists within like the Forgotten Realms. This is homebrew. I don't know.
All right,
Whatever.
so
Hell
whatever,
exists.
Whatever you
works
Hell
want,
is-
man.
Hell
Is
is
there a
real,
hell?
everybody. Yeah, it's very real. But also seraphs kill people, so who's to say what heaven is?
But yeah, do we hear her say, "Get him, he was peeping on me"? Okay, as we're coming
That
down.
depends. Did she just say that to Rob in her low, like quiet, like smoker's voice, or were you like screaming it?
Or raspy. She probably was louder than she normally is. Just out of adrenaline, I guess. And
Yeah.
she was
Get 'em, boys!
Get him!
Started to sound like Bane in there.
He stole my chocolates.
He's-
or like he was rustling through my chocolates.
yeah. Oh, God.
Yikes.
Seeing if the scales match the seaweed. Is
Oh
that
my
anything?
God.
It's a common pickup line
Woof.
in
Oh
sales.
boy.
Scales match the. So the three of you kind of see Zephyrin like dust herself off and then like continue her chase. You look off in the distance, and those of you with dark vision can see the person sprinting from the scene as Zephyrin and Rob dart towards them, tailing behind. Does anybody have an exceptional movement speed I should be aware of at this point?
I have 5 feet of movement more than other people.
Okay, so you're kind of like trotting along a little bit ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
Galloping?
Galloping? Is it galloping with 2 legs?
I don't know. I don't
well,
know the
is
terms.
it trotting with 2 legs?
Powerful
there's
skipping.
Trotting,
definitely powerful
cantering,
skipping.
Galloping,
That is
those
skipping.
are all horse terms.
Is it frolicking? I think it's frolicking.
Frolicking?
I also
Frolicking
jump
sounds
very.
right.
I also
Grazing?
have a boost.
Sorry?
I also have a
Grazing?
boost to my jumping, so I just like jump right down the stairs and get to the chase.
Jesus, that's terrifying. Do you run on all 4s or just is it a
Just on,
bipedal
just on the
stance?
hooves.
On hooves. Okay, so as you
Clap, 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 clap,
frolic
clap.
menacingly towards the enemy, flower basket in hand, you start to gain on him. You are starting to see him kind of like twist and turn as he's kind of throwing things in his way. You've seen action movies.
At any
It's-
point, do I get within 60 feet of him?
60 feet? Yes.
I cast Fairy Fire.
Oh,
He becomes
okay.
illuminated.
Oh, okay, so now everybody can very well see him.
Yeah.
Um,
Sheds dim light in a 10-foot radius.
so is that just automatic cast?
Oh, no, there is a save. Dex save, 13.
I'm gonna roll a
Or
real
DC
die.
13.
Dang cheater.
I can show you the die, but it just doesn't appear. That's my version of a DM screen with just real dice.
Hey man, it's your game. Do whatever you want.
Do whatever. So he if he fails, he is illuminated by the fairy fire. And he's immediately kind of taken aback by it, just not expecting to be magically altered in his bioluminescence. He just kind of like stumbles in his step, looks over his shoulder to see the 5 of you sprinting towards him, with this skipping goat man gaining on him quickly as he begins to pick up the pace again. Which I know, like, yeah, it's kind of like a horror mystery for you guys, but that's terrifying for him.
As I'm
Two
running, like,
fish people and a goat man.
and the goat man screams, "You can't escape now!"
Yikes.
Yeah.
Might as well make it easy.
I know you're like blinged out with gold, but I just imagine you like skipping through a meadow now. Like you're just like this floral, like classic satyr, just living in a field lying to kids about like wolves and sheep.
How close do you think we get? Do you think we get within 15 feet?
Within 15 at this point, yes.
All right. Whenever we're like within the 15 feet, I want to try to throw my net.
Net. There's a butterfly net and somebody skipping towards him.
I want to throw. Well, I like.
There's like a fish net.
Yeah, like a fishing net.
You just call them blankets.
But attack rolls.
I mean,
attack
yeah,
rolls have
that's essentially
advantage
what I
for,
do is I use it as a blanket. So I do have an attack. I do have it as like an actual item. So at 15 feet, past 15 feet, it doesn't hit. But at 15 feet, I throw it with disadvantage. Does Fairy Fire give advantage to attacks?
It gives advantage.
So it would be a straight roll, or do you still
Yeah,
want to
that'd be it.
Yeah,
with disadvantage because it's a distance thing. Your call.
Advantage and disadvantage would cancel out.
Right.
Yeah, just general roll.
Okay. So let's click this thing.
Click that thing.
That is a 24.
24. So your net is completely covers him. I assume there's weights on it in order.
So there's stuff with it I can read through.
Sure, go for it.
So a larger, smaller creature hit by a net is restrained until it is freed. A net has no effect on creatures that are formless or creatures that are huge or larger. A creature can use its action to make a DC 10 strength check, freeing itself or another creature within its reach on a success, dealing 5 slashing damage to the net and has an AC of 10. Also frees the creature without harming it, ending the effect and destroying the net. So
Sure. So what
so he's
do you
restrained.
think? What do you think happens? How does this play out?
I think we're like chasing after him. I don't have dark vision, but then
he's illuminated.
He gets illuminated, and I'm like, okay, I can see this thing. I was sleeping with my net, so I just probably grabbed it with me as I took off running. So as we get close enough, I just sort of just like Hail Mary it and like pray to whoever it hits him, and it just happens to like maybe spins in the air and like wraps around his ankles, and I guess I don't want to make him prone, but maybe like trips him up. He becomes like tangled up in his feet.
Yeah, he definitely trips and falls to the ground as he's hit, kind of struggling to let himself free as the net intertwined as it went around him. And he falls to the ground, and the 5 of you then now approach him, or face to face with this man as he's
we stomp him to death.
Teamwork. What did he do again?
Teach you to be a creep coward.
Yeah, the rest of you have no idea why you're doing this. You're just like, Zephyr's mad and she's mom, so let's do this.
She's mom.
So Salad's just protecting his pack at this point. So you're standing over this person, and those of you who have been in town long enough recognize him to be the extra bar hand from the tavern. He looks up to you.
Even creepier.
Right? So he
Works
looks up
there.
Right? Don't you hate it when you go to a place of business and it's good? Anyways, so he looks up to each of you, panting, out of breath. He's just like, before you do anything, you might want to learn of your fate. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Well, cool, man.
I'm into it.
Yeah, super into it.
Just real quick, I just want to say another huge thank you to Session 0, Bandit Badgers, and the Initiative Order. Again, As you can see on the screen, Session Zero has an ongoing discount for 10% off of your entire order. Crisis in all caps. And again, I definitely recommend checking out the initiative order and Band of Badgers. Great resources, great place to find more other content, other people interested in community. And I honestly love Band of Badgers podcast. Ryan here has been on it himself. Podcast. I love their stream. Ryan here has been on it himself. They've had other great guests like Matthew Lillard from Scooby-Doo movies. Great things. So definitely check all of them out. And then recap for you guys here. So since you've awoken this morning to the sound of a ship crashing against the village, against the town. I got to get my words right for where you are. It's not a city, it's not a village, it's a town. You've been greatly noted by the citizens of Balin's Hearth for doing everything you can to step up and retrieve the goods from the ship and attempt to rescue any survivors. And you are now, after a free meal from Alren of the Knight's Fence Crest, you are face to face with his bar hand, who is now letting you know that one or many of your fates may be known.
Yeah, and we know he's a pervert.
Pervert.
Well, I thought that was cleared up that he was. Anyways,
He could be a pervert and a fortune teller. You could
Yeah,
be
we
two
don't know
things.
what his
Just because he's a
premonition
fortune, that
was.
doesn't rule that out.
I mean, I feel like the two are almost mutually exclusive, if being honest.
All right. Well, thank you for anybody that stuck around and watched this thing, and hopefully we can get to streaming live soon, and you continue to watch and hang out with us. So I'm gonna go ahead and click this button and take us to the thanks.
Thank you.